Oh, hey everybody. What's up? What's up? How's it going? Did something happen today? Did something happen today or this week? All right. Check, testing, testing. Looks like audio's coming through. It looks like everything's good. Chat, let me know. Let me know if you can hear me. Let me know if you can't hear me. If you can't hear me, you're welcome. You are very welcome. I will try to keep my voice to a minimum tonight because, oh my goodness, ladies and gentlemen, we have a party. We have a party. We have a party in the USA. Yeah, I am not even gonna continue with that joke because it's just so bad. It is that bad. It's literally that bad. So what's up? How's it going? It's Friday. It's Friday night. And oh my goodness, did the internet blow up today? Holy cow! I mean, was anyone else as surprised as I was about what happened today? Is your voice hoarse from cheering so much all day? So here, let me tell you, okay? So I sit at my desk all day, right? Okay, not all day because there's plenty of times where I get up and I go to the back, I go to the warehouse, and I, make sure things are running right, right? Well, I didn't know what time the whole question thing started. I get a tweet, I get a notification right on my phone. Okay, so this thing blows up anytime the Disney Lorcana account right posts. So and I get I get multiple notifications because I have multiple accounts, and I have every account signed up to be notified, right? So 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 anyway, what was I saying? Oh yeah. So I get a notification on my phone that Rochelle is tweeting, and I'm very surprised. I'm like, "Oh, that's now? Okay. All right." And so I had to keep constantly refreshing, and holy cow. Oh my goodness, ladies and gentlemen, it has been a crazy day. Okay. So before we talk all about Lorcana today, okay? Um I don't know if Jim's going to show up. Okay. His work schedule is not the same as mine. Not the same as mine. Okay. So I'm hoping he shows up, but I don't know. Okay. There's something going on in 2 weeks. Does anybody know what that is? I'm actually going on vacation next week. And so I leave for vacation Thursday. I get back, then I have a day to prep before Gen Con. So this is unfortunately the last Lorcana stream before Gen Con. So yeah, we will not have a Lorcana stream next week because I'll be gone. I'll be out of town. But there's still a lot of stuff going on next week. So there's plenty of folks in the community who are going to be stepping up and producing and releasing a bunch of stuff. So, you know what? Let's just start getting people in because there's a lot to talk about, and like a whole heck of a lot of stuff to talk about. And let me make sure. Okay, now I can see. Okay, so my goodness, ladies and gentlemen, if you could see what I see right now, I have to literally scroll up and down the green room to see who's here and then start letting people in. Okay. So we have quite a few new people. So we're gonna bring on some people that you all know first, and then we will get on the new folks, and then we're gonna just start talking about Lorcana. So, all right, we're gonna slowly bring people on. Okay, we've got Wero. I always think I mispronounce his name. And don't worry, guys. Once we start getting people in too, let me know about the music because I know I have issues with the audio levels, the music levels. So I'm gonna be Turtle Dude. I don't want to hear it, my guy. I do not want to hear it. Okay, don't you start with me. Let me. I gotta bring you up, dude. I have got to bring you up. Where is the? You goodness, come on, you can do it. Chat. There we go. There's chat. Don't you do it, Turtle Dude. Oh my goodness. Don't tell me you've corrupted Jim so much that he not only missed for family, but now he may even miss because of work. Your devious plan has truly come to fruition. I can't even speak. Shaking my head. Oh, you know what? He's a grown man. He can do what he wants. All right. All right. Yeah. So once we get people in, I'll adjust. Yeah, I think my mic looks good. So we'll see. All right. But chat, keep me honest. Let me know, and then I'll adjust. I'm probably going to turn the music all the way off once we get people on. But without further ado, Wero. Oh, hello. What's up, Wero? Can I hear you? Yeah, your mic is not on, Wero. You are not muted on my end.
So it turns out when you log into this thing, it automatically mutes you, and you have to manually go in and mute yourself. And I saw that when I came in, processed it, it went into my head, and then
forgot about it.
Out. Yeah.
Yep.
That is what happens. I, in record time, spliced together a quick reveal/review/ let's charge through these cards video that I posted like a couple hours ago. We got 16 cards just today.
Yeah, we got a lot of stuff, man. We got a lot of stuff. So how was your week? Good week?
My week was mostly Lorcana stuff, I gotta be honest. So my work group, a lot of them got to go to Italy last week, and I was planning to go, but my passport didn't come in time because the passport office right now is a train wreck. You've probably heard in the news, like it takes so long. I actually got my passport. I'm not going to open it, but see, I have it now. Tuesday, which was just barely too late for me to still fly out to Italy. So they were all at Italy. I did like a zooming in of the presentation I was going to give. But this week, my entire work group is just still coming off of Italy time. So there has not really been any real work done. That'll probably change next week. And I'll probably put out a little fewer videos as I have to do real work. But this week has been mostly.
How dare you?
So
how dare you have to do real work?
And then Sunday, I'm going to see Barbenheimer with some friends.
There you go. Very cool. Very cool. All right. Well, we're going to start bringing more people on. We've got Cabled. Cabled, were you here last week? No, you weren't. No, you weren't.
Hello. Yeah, I was here last week.
You were?
He's
Yes.
just
Maybe it was the time before that you weren't. Maybe that's what it was.
Correct. Yeah.
Correct. Be our guest, Heath. Yes, real work is overrated. Unfortunately, it's overrated. So what's up, Cabled? How's it going? How are you?
Good. It's hot in Arizona. It's been like 110 for the past 20 plus days.
It's hot all over. The humidity level out here is been pretty crazy. But other than that, you have a good day today. How was today? Anything happened today?
No actual work happened for me today because of all the reveals. So that's been fun.
So wait, hold the phone. Wait. No work happened because of reveals, so you just get to say I'm not doing work. Is that how it works? Am I missing something?
Just don't tell my work. Yes.
Understood.
See, I did work. It just wasn't for my job.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I mean, I did some TTS stuff. I helped Artem fix a couple things, but yeah, just no actual. I did like the first 3 hours of work, and then after that, it was all Lorcana.
Yeah, I'm gonna do a deep dive on kind of your office where you work. And then I'm gonna clip this and I'm gonna send it to him. And yeah,
okay,
hello,
we're all
HR,
getting swatted now.
Hello?
Chat swat
hello,
us.
yeah. All right. Now we're bringing on our friend who didn't know if he was gonna make it tonight. Jonty, hello, how are you?
I made it.
How are you?
Don't panic, everyone.
Did you get what you wanted to recorded?
Well, as most people who are coming on tonight will probably say similar, 16 reveals today. So obviously all of us who make content tried to push through and get that done quick so we can come and join you. So I went and had a 2-hour nap.
Yeah.
I woke up 20 minutes ago.
Nice.
So,
yeah.
I did not get my video done.
Yeah. Yeah. So, how was your week? Pretty good.
Good. Yeah. Lorcana heavy. My channel got a name change. So that was a bit of work.
That's right.
And then in the real job has been very Lorcana heavy as well, because we got our sort of allocations and stuff. So we put out we announced our sort of launch event and then our league, and the launch event sold out pretty much within minutes. So that was exciting stuff. Right? Yeah. But it looks like it's sold out of actually people who want to play, and lots of like guys around our age with their kids and couples, and all the sort of people that you would hope are drawn to this game. So that's really exciting.
Cool. All right. Well, let's bring in. There's someone, I don't know who this person is with is it a pigeon? It's a bird. It's a plane. Is it Knive? Oh my goodness, it's Knive. What's up, Knive? Now, hold the phone. Is that?
He might have the wrong mic going in right now.
Yeah, Knive, you've got the wrong mic going in, because all we're getting is feedback.
Just a static beep.
It is just a static beep.
You're dead on the table.
You are dead on the table. There we go. No more static. No more static beep. That's gone.
We're live. We
are live. We're live. We're figuring it out live. I'll give you 5. There it is. I thought that was. There we go.
Hello.
Good job. What's up?
Now it sounds like you're talking through latex or something. I don't know if there's anything you can do about that.
Yeah, I should probably take this off.
Oh, happy haircut.
Yes, I am dreading the Indiana summer.
That's fair.
The Indiana summer, yeah. It's been it has been a pretty brutal summer, at least for us down here, just outside Chicago. So, how are you? It's been a minute. It's been a minute. How's
It's
it going?
been 4 months since I was last on this.
You're not counting. Wow.
Well,
I honestly can't
yeah.
remember when it was.
Well,
'Cause I know it's been a while.
yeah, I know it was before Phyrexia All Will Be One came out.
Of course, he ties it to magic.
No, I'm just saying, like, that's how far away it's been. But
Sure.
That was
Sure,
like
sure.
Yeah.
February.
yeah, it was a while ago. But
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
happy to be back. My wife
Cool.
let me, so that's good.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yep.
yeah,
Know how
I'm
it is.
back.
Know how it is. All right. Well, we've got a few more folks to and the rest of these creators are first time on the stream.
Oh, that's exciting.
So have at thee, guys. So we're gonna bring on Lorcana Dad. Lorcana Dad, a fellow father. What's up, Lorcana Dad? How are you, sir? Good to see you.
Everybody, how's everybody doing?
There we
We're
go. There we
doing
go. How's it
well.
going?
Good.
So
Good.
so Lorcana Dad, what's been going on? Anything going on this week? Has anything happened in your world this week?
So I would, because of the grace of my wife, I'm here. So I would like to point out that tomorrow is Lorcana Mom and I's 13th wedding anniversary. So I will be shutting down the Lorcana stuff tomorrow. But today, much like Cabled, I was working, but not really getting much done.
She gets a day.
I was 10.
one day.
We had our anniversary. We had our anniversary a couple weeks ago, and so on that day, I'm like, all right, I am doing literally nothing else. We're gonna go to dinner. It's just you and me. Don't worry, I'm nothing else. Or else I would have been in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. I think we're gonna go do some float therapy in Seattle tomorrow, and try to avoid the Taylor Swift traffic because it's supposed to. They've issued warnings that it's really
yeah.
bad in Seattle.
Yeah,
Yep.
it was terrible in
Yeah.
Kansas City a couple weeks ago.
Yeah,
We
I'm
can go
not
there.
looking forward to that, but yeah, I was super excited about today. I gotta say though, when the initial information came out about the Q&A, I almost didn't go because it was all about. It said it was going to be about gameplay rulings.
Right.
And
Right.
Most of us content creators were in Discord enough to where I didn't really think that was worth my time. And then I just kind of was like, well, there's a bunch of people in voice chat, we'll go. And then the floodgates opened and things went sideways real quick. So
D
glad I
Summon
did.
from Musha Report was like, it's like 3 a.m. here, you know. I genuinely was like, you're not missing anything, buddy. Like, it's all questions that we know the answers to. Like, it's not going to be anything impressive at all.
Yeah.
Luckily, he ignored me and stuck around.
No, yeah, he got off at like 5 a.m. his time.
And then
He
probably
finally got out of the audio.
started filming at
The
like
chat.
5:01.
Right. All right. We've got a few more people to bring on. We've got, all right, Dan, I believe, from the Forbidden Mountain. Dan, how are you? How's it going? I like your name. Good job.
You got right. Great name.
Welcome.
Like phenomenal
Yes.
name. Obviously.
Absolutely.
Hello,
Absolutely.
everyone. Nice
So
to
how's
meet
it going? Welcome. Good to be here. How are you?
you. I'm doing good. Can't complain. You know, hanging out.
All right.
Get to see all you beautiful faces. You know, it's all good things.
All good things. All good
All good
things.
things.
Yes.
All good things.
Yes.
It's nice to
All right,
see
we've got-
someone else with longer hair.
I've
Even
got.
though
I
it's
mean,
tucked away at the moment.
It is. I'll whip it out if you want me to. It's gonna make you happy. You know.
Or
all right. That's enough of that. I got a headache. All right. All right. I'm still. Can you enlighten me, Steggy? Why in the world are you wearing a banana outfit? Please.
Oh, hey, what's going on? I hope I sound okay.
Yeah, you sound great.
Sound good.
Hey, what's going
Yes,
on?
Are you King Banana? What in the world is going on?
There's the crown, right? This is my old Halloween costume And it's like the last one before Gen Con. And I was like, hey kids, because I have 2 kids. I was like, should I dress up in my banana costume? They're like, oh yeah, you got to do it. And I was like, I don't know if I should. And then they went to see the Barbie movie without me. So I was like, you know what? I'm dressing in the banana costume. I'm going to talk about Lorcana cards tonight. So here I am,
Wow.
King Banana. I got the crown.
King. All right. So would you like us to address you as Sir King Banana, or how are we doing that?
No, Sir King Banana is my father. No, you can. Steggy's fine. Steggy's fine.
See, I'm a staunch lowercase Republican, so I'm gonna need to get out the guillotine if we have the crown too long.
Make a banana split.
I'm benevolent. I'm a good ruler.
Your words, not mine.
Got him. Got him. All right. So we also have Jacob from Ready Set Draw. Jacob, welcome to stream. How are you, sir? You are muted. Jacob, you're
the quiet.
You gotta manually.
You may have
You have to turn the mic on. Yeah.
On the website.
On the site, you should. Yeah, it should be through Restream. Restream may have you muted.
That's like 3 out of 9 is not
yeah,
terrible.
it's not bad. It's really not bad.
It's pretty good numbers.
Yeah, you may have it muted in Restream, Jacob. You may be automatically muted, and there's nothing I can do on it on my end. Yeah, you're not muted. So
right under the panel, there's a bunch of buttons. Make sure you're not muted.
Can you hear me?
There it is. There we go.
It was the setting was the wrong mic. That's what it was.
That was my mic. Yep.
Yes. Welcome, Jacob. How are you, sir?
I'm doing very well.
Microphone.
Well, to be fair, it was defaulting to 0 mic, but this is what I got. But I'm doing well. I'm doing well.
Yes.
Kind of like Trey mentioned, he's dealing with 110 in Arizona. I'm dealing with 97 and 100% humidity in Texas. So it's pretty.
Yes.
It's another brand of beautiful.
Yes, absolutely. All right, and then we have an actual full house tonight. We've got Brad, Cola informant. Oh my word, Brad, how are you? Good to see you, friend. How are you?
Whew. Good evening, gents.
What's up? How's it going? How is the most recent Lorcana? What was it? The Lorcana program applicant? I don't know. We talked about it last week.
Well, I did get into the program. My distributor's still trying to see if they can get me more product as far as the initial wave. I did hear, and I think Jonty pointed this out, that they were talking about mid-September ish is when the second wave will come through for us. Mm-hmm. I couldn't get any definites on that from PhD, but Southern seemed to alluded to about that time period. So we'll see.
Yeah, we were told that we're going to get 48 boxes on launch, and then another 13, which is a really weird number, but we get another 13 in the middle of September. And then my rep said, and if you don't want those 13, let me know because I can find somebody else who wants them.
Yes,
like, oh no, we'll want them.
No. They're giving you 3 cases and then 1 spare box.
That's weird.
Yes, I don't know. I don't know where
weird.
the number 13 comes from, but that's how many we're getting. So I'm not gonna at this point.
Beggars can't be choosers.
I'll
right?
take what I can get, and I don't believe a word of it until it turns up at the back dock.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. So we have a lot of stuff to go through. Okay. So here's how we're gonna handle tonight. All right. We're all just gonna hang out. We're gonna talk about Lorcana, and there may be other people who stop by tonight. Who knows? I put these out, and then I get a lot more responses than I actually think people are interested in. So who knows? But what we're gonna do, the way we're gonna start is we're gonna go through each participant. And guys, I'm curious as to what's your biggest takeaway from what you've seen this week, whether that be a favorite card, a favorite mechanic, something that you saw that you didn't think you were going to see, or maybe that chat from today on Twitter. So I'm interested to hear everyone's take. Yes, Knive, you can. All right. You are allowed to do that. All right. All right, so we're gonna go through each individual person. Give me basically your hot quick take of what you're most interested in from the week. We'll talk about it, and then we'll dive into some cards. So you are all in a line on my end. So I'll just go through the line. So Lorcana Dad, let's start with you, sir. What's your biggest takeaway from the week?
I think my biggest takeaway is we've seen a pretty big shift in the way that information is coming out. There's not really these multiple social media blitzes from Disney Lorcana themselves. Most of it has been handled through Discord, and then it seems like they're relying on folks like us and other Twitter users to kind of spread the news, which I think is great because they're relying on the people that are going to be playing this game to spread the word and share things. And I, for one, am very grateful. The CM that we have now is fantastic. She's very engaging. She is in and out of the Discord with us, kind of answering questions here and there. So that kind of was a big change to me, at least in my perception. And then just the sheer volume of stuff. I mean, and we kind of figured that some of it was going to have to start coming out because we started looking at the clock and how many days were left and how many cards were left and said, okay, we're going to have to start picking up the pace. And oh boy, 16 today. And then I think earlier in the week, we had a total of maybe like 9 more cards. So we probably had close to 25 cards in the last week or so. Mm-hmm. And then just some of the cards, obviously there's a lot of vanilla cards that came out today. Some of the cards, we got a lot of Floodborne cards today, which was kind of cool to see. And then some new franchises. I was very happy to see Treasure Planet. I think most of us probably were. And I think overall, just very excited about what they're doing. I will say, though, there's two cards that I was kind of disappointed in, not because the art's bad or anything like that, but I felt like Abu kind of got the shaft with just being vanilla. Hopefully we get another Abu card at some point. And then I was kind of concerned as to why Horus and Jasper didn't have the same kind of treatment as Flotsam and Jetsam, where they kind of tag team off of each other, especially since they're in the same ink. I was a little confused by that, but still happy to see more niche characters in the game, especially since we really haven't seen a whole lot from 101 Dalmatians. It was kind of nice to see, but overall very happy. I'm not going to Gen Con, unfortunately. I will be going to Miami, but very
okay, knife.
I smacked my mic with my finger.
Goodness gracious. All right,
yeah, those are my takeaways. I'm just very, very happy that.
Do you have a favorite card from the week, or one that really stood out to you that you really like?
I have 4 favorite cards from the week, and all of them were from today. The art on the Elsa card, the Spirit of Winter, is amazing. That little touch of the reflection of her face in the ice, I think, is going to be probably one of the nicest foil cards we're going to see. The John Silver card, excellent card. I'm a big fan of Scar, so I really like that card. And then the Rapunzel card today, I actually really like the combination of mechanics that she has. I think it's going to be a really fun card to play in an Amber deck down the road. So those are probably my top cards of the week so far.
Awesome. All right, Wero, we're going to you, sir.
Yeah, so my takeaway is Emerald Villains. I want to make an Emerald Villain deck. It looks like there's a lot of support for it. We had, before Cusco was revealed, Team Lorcana had been like, okay, pick an emoji, crown, sparkles, or angry face. And I'm pretty sure sparkles means Madam Mim and angry face means Queen of Hearts. If I'm correct, that's 2 more villains, and we're probably also going to get Mother Gothel and Emerald. That's a lot of potential villain synergy, and I want to just pair that with Amber so I can do Hades, King of Olympus, and just make an Amber Emerald villains deck. I am very excited about that, especially my favorite card from this week is John Silver. Treasure Planet is fantastic. I love that movie is getting more love. I love that it's being appreciated more. I love when these Disney movies that I have known about for a while get rediscovered, or people come forward as to, hey, I remember this movie from when I was a kid. So I'm happy about that. So John Silver is definitely my favorite card. The card that made me laugh the most was the Captain Hook Floodborne. The art is ridiculous. I love it.
Yes. All right, awesome.
Somebody drank too much pixie dust.
Yeah. You know what it actually reminds me of is there's a Tinkerbell movie and there's like a
There's
pirate.
like 10 Tinkerbell.
I was gonna say,
No,
there's like
there's a
90
lot.
of 'em.
I know there's a lot, but there's one where there's a pirate fairy, and I think it's actually called Pirate Fairy, and the voice of Captain Hook in that movie is Loki, Tom Hiddleston. Remember when my kids were watching that movie, I'm like, that voice sounds very familiar to me, and then as I heard him, I'm like, oh, I know who that is. So, but that's where my mind went to when I saw that card. In all honesty, so, all right, we're gonna go to Dan from the Forbidden Mountain. So, Dan, what's your biggest takeaway this week, man?
For me, I'm really excited that they doubled down on songs in the game this week. The 5 that came out like that one morning, like songs are really fun. They're really awesome and they're really interesting mechanic to a new game. And the fact that we got iconic card bases on these songs is really interesting. I think it's going to create phenomenal gameplay, and I'm definitely looking forward to playing with them. My favorite card of the week, there's so many today. I mean, like, it's unbelievable. I've been sitting here looking at it since we started, and I think I'm going to give out a shout out to like Flynn Rider. I really like what he does early on in the game, and maybe we might not get like a full strategy around him yet, but if we get any more follow up to like early disruption with hand, I think it's gonna be a really solid card and it's gonna be pretty fun and might go a little under the radar for a little bit.
Cool. Awesome. All right. Trey, over to you, sir. What you got?
Yes. I'm just excited how like complex or in depth this first set is. I didn't think it was going to be this complex, but it is definitely showing that it has some depth to it. I will say John Silver is probably like going to be the best card in the game. Obviously, we still have 53 more cards to go, but that having the inter battle and quest being the same ability is pretty crazy. But my all-time favorite card so far this week was the Floodborn Elsa, which is the Spirit of Winter. I like control, and that's just, if I can stop you from readying up, that's ideal for me.
Of course you do, you dirty control player, you. Of course you do. All right, Steggy, we're going to go over to you, sir.
Oh, hey. Well, so for one, I guess echoing what everybody else has been saying. So I'm really happy that a lot of the different colors show a lot of real promise. So there's not like one color or like say 2 colors you got to put together and you're like, okay, this is the only deck you got to play because they're the best. But with everything being revealed, with all these really awesome Emerald cards, we're starting to see some strategies form, and I do like that. I like everything being shown. It makes me pretty happy. I like it. My favorite card, actually, I'm a big fan of Marshmallow. I think he's pretty fun. I think he can have some shenanigans and whatnot, but overall, it's looking pretty good.
All right. Jacob, over to you.
So my biggest takeaway from this past week, I'm pretty sure everybody's been checking every reveal and seeing a bunch of uninkable cards and then seeing like, okay, well now how does this stack up against the uninkables in this color that we already know? And it's been crazy to me to see just the depth of uninkable cards in the game so far. It seems like half of Emerald's cards revealed are uninkable, but it immediately makes you think like, okay, do I want Genie in this? Like for instance, Mother Knows Best. Like immediately that seems like great, but do you have room to play that and Genie, or is it either or? But it basically means like deck building should be really variable and expressive based on the uninkable counts you want, because you can't stack too many of them. But speaking of like my favorite card, the one that stood out to me the most as my favorite color, Ruby, a lover of songs, I love Be Prepared. The game needed a board wipe in mass, and it was just so clutch to see a song come out that could actually do that massive effect. If you were like a ramp deck and you build up to like one solid big threat and they go wide, you're not left just scratching your head. You can just sing Be Prepared, reset the game, and have a better late game. So I love it.
Yeah. So when we did our video where we talked about Be Prepared, I went on record as saying when we saw Grab Your Sword that I did not think we were going to get a board wipe. I said, now that we've seen that, I honestly do not believe that we're going to get an actual board wipe, at least in this first set. And I was wrong, and thank goodness that I was wrong, in all honesty. But I was very pleasantly surprised when I saw that. And all honesty, also the fact that it's a song is just that's a really good card, guys.
It's gravy, man.
It's like
It's
really
gravy.
good.
It's really good.
Man. So all right, Knive, over to you, man.
Yeah, so we got a lot of cards. As an Emerald player, I've been an Emerald player since Corella was revealed. Just love it. I was eating pretty good this week.
So hang on.
Yeah.
So are you an Emerald player, or do you want to be an Emerald player?
I am an Emerald player.
Huh?
What are you talking about? Emerald Sapphire all the way, big brain. But
Respect it.
another thing that's been doing pretty well is draft. Me and Wero and a couple others on a team, we've kind of finalized what we think is a good draft format. And even though this set isn't designed for it, it actually works pretty well. There's a couple commons that kind of take over if there's too many picked, but otherwise it's a really fun homemade community format. And
Awesome.
yeah, favorite card right now. Insert Emerald card here.
Well, go ahead. Insert one.
Oh, look at this. John Silver for the Endless Reckless. Mickey for the Endless. No, you don't get to play the game anymore. Emerald is just my thing. It's like, no, you don't get to play Lorcana.
Yeah.
We get to.
Fun is a zero-sum game, and I'm going to be the one having all of it. Is what
Exactly.
It is.
Exactly.
All right, John T, over to you, man.
We've had a lot this week. I think the biggest takeaway for me is we don't know anything about this game. Like I know Dan's gonna love me saying
my
it.
line.
I know. Even now there are still reveals that are coming out that are completely shifting how I feel about this game. And I'm not talking about like the meta of people playing, with the cards that they're using at the moment. I genuinely I'm more and more surprised that we're still getting more and more interesting takeaways. Originally, I thought the whole Floodborn and shifting mechanic was going to be like the big mechanic of the game. I think songs are the thing that I think a lot of. If you went to somebody and said, "What's new? What's this new Lorcana? Then what does it really do differently?" I think songs would be one of the things I talk about now, which I don't think I would have done a little while ago. I love the fact that seemingly every color pair has a really clear identity, and obviously with this first set, they've really built around those, and they really kind of want you to go in certain directions with each color pair. Much like Knive, I love Emerald, always have. Very glad to see that get support. Ever since we first saw Cruella and then Cheshire Cat relatively early in the reveals, I just love the idea of, I'm going to play, you deal with it. And I like that. I like that play style. So, so Flynn Rider, Cusco, John Silver, seeing all those today or this week or wherever it was. I don't know. It's all kind of blended into one.
Yeah, it has. All right. Last but not least, Brad.
All right. So I'm going to, there was a lot to process this week. I had to plug myself in the Matrix and download everything and unplug. But if I had, I don't know if I could pick one card, but I'm going to pick two that haven't been mentioned. The first one is a song, A Whole New World. Wheel effects are powerful, but also dangerous at the same time, which is why I really like the card. I played Magic, so I was very, Wheel of Fortune and Windfall are the two ones that I think of there.
Yep.
Pokemon obviously has Professor's Research, but it only hits you. So this one hits both. So there's definitely some danger with that card, but I like.
What are you talking about? It's all fine. It's fine. I mean, a free Wheel of Fortune. There's nothing wrong with that. It's fine.
We have in this game. We now have a board wipe that you can play for free, so you can build your board first. We have a wheel effect that you can play for free, so you can play your refilled hand first. It's the song, like Jonty said, like songs. That's what songs and the third trait of characters, which is the lore. Are like the two things that make this game very distinct, and it's really cool.
And a few times people have been saying, "Oh, I'm not going to waste a 7-cost character to sing Be Prepared." It's like if you're playing Be Prepared, you're losing that character anyway. You may as well sing with it.
True.
Go ahead, Brad.
So the other card that is actually it's an uncommon. It's Spectre of Ardenvale. the support gift.
Yes.
Yep.
That card, I've got eyeballs on that one. Being able to pass your strength around and take bigger characters off the board, particularly if you can, I don't know, ready those characters with fan the flames.
Yep.
I was like, okay, I'll give him support quest, then I'll straighten you, and then I'll swing this dude and kill your big guy.
Yep.
So I really like the lines that card can give.
Yeah, when we saw Scepter of Arendelle, we were just like, holy cow, that is an absolute crazy card because, when in all honesty, when I first saw Hey and I saw the support ability, I was like, all right, this is actually really, really interesting and really, really cool. And now you're telling me I can give that ability to literally anything that I want on my side of the board? Yes, please. I'll take 4. I'll take all of them. Yes, please.
You can put it on John Silver.
Yeah, exactly.
Support 5, hand out Reckless.
And it's an item in the same color as Who's It Collector as well. Like,
Yeah.
For one.
Yep.
just
For one.
writes itself for one.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Okay. All right. So now I had a message that we've got a message from chat. I want to ask everybody. Okay. This is from Rashid. It says, with more than half the cards already shown, are there any particular card that y'all would like a holo of, good or bad? So a holo foil or just a foil version. We'll go backwards this time. Brad, do you have one that you're particularly interested in getting a foil of?
I mean, yes, I'll take a playset of A Whole New World in foil. The fireworks exploding in the background is absolutely gorgeous.
Yep. Jonty.
I think all the Elsas will look really nice in foil.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not a huge foil guy, really. I always use matte sleeves, so I'm not too fussed on them. But I imagine the Elsas will look good.
Okay, Knive, what do you got?
Maleficent Uninvited.
Okay.
I just really love that bird. The bird's pretty.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Like Maleficent's pretty too, but the bird is I
okay.
love birds.
Jacob, do you have one?
Yeah, Brad said the Whole New World, but I will give a secondary shout out. I would almost guarantee the cold foil Rapunzel gifted with healing will have like part of her hair glowing.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So that's gonna be pretty sick.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yes. Especially with the way, at least we were hearing that they're supposed to do the cold foils. And how I've seen now, unfortunately, I was not at Gamma. Was anyone here? Were any of you guys at Gamma? Was anyone here at Gamma? No. Okay. I know there were some people that were there and were able to see those cold foils, but they look. I mean, I've seen cold foils in other games, and they are gorgeous. So I'm just imagining this artwork on those, and particularly excited. So
there were
Steggy,
some gifts. I was just gonna say there were some gifts they showed of like Zeus and stuff.
Yeah,
they could see the foiling pattern.
Right. Steggy, what do you got?
So definitely for me personally, it's probably gonna have to be Magic Mirror and Flounder. I think those two are gonna be my but seriously, in my opinion, me personally, I figure like Gaston, because I think his torch might look really, really cool. That's just me.
Yeah.
And I know we kind of already saw it, but the Zeus with his lightning bolts, I was like, man, that looks really nice. I wouldn't mind having a foil of that one.
Yeah.
So those are probably my right now my two. But I mean, if I could get it, I would take the legendary Elsa for sure. That one's pretty nice.
Yeah. Trey, what about you, man?
I think they've both been said, the two that I really want, which is the Floodborn Elsa. I want to see her ice eye reflection, the foil in that. And then same with Rapunzel healing, her hair just being foil is going to look amazing, I assume.
Okay. Dan.
Shout out to Be Our Guest. There are no wrong answers. All of these cards are gorgeous.
Sure,
I'm gonna go with Genie on the Job.
That's a good one.
That artwork.
I don't know
I'm
about that.
really excited to see it.
You've clearly never been in one of my streams before. There are definitely wrong answers.
Not for foils. Not for foils. It's okay.
Not all of these cards are gorgeous.
Are we gonna go to Jafar?
Hey,
okay.
it's not the worst. It's
All
not
right.
bad.
All right. Wero, what about you, man?
So I want to concur with Nive. I think Uninvited is going to look spectacular in foil, and I think for similar reasons, Let It Go will as well. I kind of want a playset of John Silver just because I really like that card, but I think the best looking foil, or one of them, might be Han's 13th in Line.
Yes.
Just the ice
Yeah.
background, the sword,
Yeah.
the crazy eyes. Like I want that in foil.
Yeah. Lorcana Dad, what about you?
So I have two that I really want in foil, and I think for me, I'm really big on the art for this stuff. And so there's a lot of cards that have really bright colors or things that are inherently shiny. One of the cards that I've been really impressed with the artwork is the Tinkerbell Tiny Tactician. They do a lot with the light and shadows on that card, and I really want to see what they do with the foiling when it comes to light and shadow and how they play with that. I think it has a lot of potential. And then the other card, which is kind of a wild card for me, is Beast's Mirror. It's a very plain card. There's not a lot going on. And part of me wonders if that foiling is going to have some sort of reflection in the mirror. And I would really like to see that.
Cool. Yeah. I guess I have to pick one.
Do you like Dan? It's your stream.
Yeah. Honestly, Tinkerbell Giant Fairy. I love the artwork on that card, and I just would really like to see that in foil. Again, it's the cold foiling. Like for if you guys have never seen like cold foils versus other foiling processes, these cold foils are they're on another level, on an absolute another level than other foils. So I think I'd like to see a Tinkerbell Giant Fairy. In all honesty, I think it's gonna be really cool. Okay, so there's a ton of cards, guys. There's just a ton, an absolute ton of cards. So let's start talking about them. All right. So I think let's see. I'm trying to remember. Okay. This week, my goodness, it's been an absolute long week. All right. What did we start the week with? Does anybody know?
It's those four that you're on right now.
Yeah, the
that's what I
German
thought.
cards.
Yeah.
Yeah, from Berlin.
All right. So yeah, that's right. It was the Berlin. So when we first got these, I think one of the first ones that I at least saw, I think, was Aladdin. Okay. But of these four, I think we'll kind of talk about these guys in groups. Cabled, kind of what's your take on these four? If one sticks out to you, and kind of which ones do you like here? The Musketeer. I've been informed it's Tabard. I was making fun of Jim for saying, man, I wish he was here. When we did our video, he kept saying Flot Sam and Jet Sam, and I could not stop laughing. I couldn't stop laughing. And then I went and said Musketeer Tabard, and apparently it's Tabard.
Oh, Tabard.
I didn't know that.
So Tabard would be the French pronunciation, but this is English, so it's Tabard.
We.
Yeah. So anyway, so Trey, what do you think of these guys, huh?
I like them. The Maleficent Uninvited is probably the best out of those four. If I would just look at those ones, I have actually been liking Aladdin Street Rat as well, because I do control Ruby Ramp. Taking away the one lore helps me stay in the game.
Okay. Lorcana Dad, what about you, man?
To me, I think Prince Philip is the most appealing to me, just because I think if you get behind early and somebody has a big creature out, you can just ram Suicide Squad Prince Philip into them and be done with it. And I really like that kind of reset action where you don't have to necessarily struggle to find a way to get rid of something. You can just sacrifice him and move on.
Okay. Steggy.
So I like them. I was really excited to see the Ruby Aladdin. So now we have a Ruby shift target for Heroic Outlaw. So that's really cool. The only thing I'm worried about with, say, the Tabard is if the game turns into kind of like a solitaire and your opponent doesn't really care about your bodyguard character. So they're not going to attack them. They're just going to do their own thing. But of these, I think the 5-cost Maleficent here is really, really good. It should come down really early, questing for 3 lore. With 6 willpower is pretty good. That's going to be hard to take out. I like Prince Philip quite a bit. The downside is his effect only works when you're challenging, not when you're challenged. So he's just got to either sit there until there's like a suitable target. Because if you quest with him, your opponent's like, well, I'm just going to quest into him with, the wardrobe and she'll survive. So good game or whatever. But
Right.
I like them. They're all flavorful. They're all different. They're pretty interesting. But I think Maleficent's probably my favorite out of this bunch.
Yeah. Wero, what about you?
So first off, I want to point out I love the blue, red, yellow color scheme of these three together. I just think that the primary colors, it's a very nice aesthetically. I will also point out with the tabard, it's when they're banished, they don't have to be challenged. You can challenge with them, or if they're taken out with Dragonfire.
Right.
So like they'll go and they'll give you card draw. Like if you get Protective Cub early in the game and he's kind of outlived his usefulness, you throw him into something and you draw a card. Maleficent is fantastic. I wanted like just in time her out on turn 3, and that's you'll see a lot of people doing that on Pixelborn right now. And I love the lore stealing. I hope we see more stuff like Aladdin and Rapunzel. Wow, brain fart. And yeah, Philip, I think I want to see him in action before I make a real judgment call on him. I think he's going to be the hardest removal of characters that Amber really gets, and I'm not sure how good that is yet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like Prince Philip, but I just don't know if it's worth it with him being uninkable. That's the thing with Prince Philip. It's a great effect, but is that effect worth that entire card being not inkable with that stat line 3/3/2? Especially when again, like you all just talked about, is he has to be the challenger. They can't be challenging into him. So, Jacob, what do you got?
Well, I would just say thank you, Wero, for bringing that up. Musketeer Tabard in general. It's one of the things that I've done testing with Musketeer Tabard recently, and it's one of the slept-on traits that people think about it just having one out, but I've frequently in testing I've gotten 2 out at one time, and it quickly gets really scary because especially paired with Amber and the bodyguard colors, you're going to have stuff like Simba, you're going to have stuff like Hercules. And even if you aren't getting challenged into because they don't want to give you card draw, you can just suicide those guys in for pluses. And whether or not they like it, giving you the card draw, it's something they have to deal with and think about constantly, that if they get rid of it, it's there to give you benefit. It's also really good for it makes it even more pressure when you put those little small high lore characters behind the bodyguard. It just puts super, super pressure on them. But other than just preaching on the tabard here, Maleficent Uninvited and Aladdin, I love those characters because I'm a big Sapphire Ruby ramp player. Maleficent kind of gave an earlier ramp target to throw out because typically those ramp decks would kind of hit 6, 7, 8, maybe 9, and that's where your threats would happen. But Maleficent gave you a chance to actually play down something on turn 5 that was a threat and had to be dealt with without having to extend beyond. And it kind of gave you pressure where they have to answer Maleficent instead of having to answer stuff like a Aladdin Heroic Outlaw or a Mickey BLT or something. It gave you early pressure. So yeah, solid cards all around.
All right. Dan, what do you got?
Yeah, I mean, everyone's really done a great job of explaining the cards as well as possible. The Tabard definitely has an endless potential for uptaking a great card advantage, which is wonderful. Maleficent, any turn before turn 5, if you get ramp 3, 4, whatever you're going to do with her, she's phenomenal. I personally really like the ability on the Street Rat. If we continue to get more Ruby compounding ways to steal lore, might get really annoying to play against them because you're gonna be like, oh, I had this nice good turn. And they're like, no, we just take it all away. We don't care about what you're doing. It doesn't matter. I'm really down on Prince Philip. Uninkable, 3/3. Gotta attack with it to make it worth it. I'm not a big fan. It's pretty mediocre in my opinion.
Okay. Knive, what do you got?
So I'm going to preach the glory of the Tabard as well, because I have just been jamming out Amber Steel bodyguards for the past week with this thing, and it's been insane. Especially when you get 2 out and you're just drawing 2 every time. Maleficent and Aladdin have found their homes in what looks to be the current view of things. Of course, today is going to change a lot. And then Prince Philip, same sentiment. I don't think you won him as one of your unequals or non-flourish, but at the same time, it's one of the few Amber cards that is able to just go creature gone or character gone. which appears to be Amber's weakness at this point.
Mm-hmm.
But overall, these 4 cards are pretty decent.
Okay. Jonty, what do you think?
Yeah, I don't know. 8 people have already spoken. Everything's been said, I guess. Prince Philip is a little clunky. I do wonder if maybe like more Prince support later on might help him. You know, like just the classification itself. I'm a big fan of like any cursed reveals. So I loved the fact that Aladdin was Street Boy for a day, thanks to Google Translate. So yeah, any cursed reveal I'm down for. Otherwise, Tabard's really good. Maleficent's really good. All of these got a little outclassed, I think, through the week with other reveals, but they all probably have somewhere. Philip's probably the only one that I don't quite see where it fits right now.
Right. Brad, what do you think?
As far as a favorite of these, it's hard to go wrong with the Tabard because of all the card draw that you can get. Especially we got another bodyguard character today, very early in the day.
It feels like so long ago.
I know, doesn't it?
This looks exhausted.
Yeah.
I will say this: of the 4, Prince Philip is the weirdest of the group, because his ability requires you to basically suicide him into something else.
Mm-hmm.
Why in the world does he have 2 lore? It's going to be
why
very
does
difficult.
Zeus have 2 lore? Like,
why does who?
Zeus. Why does Zeus have 2 lore?
But yeah. Again, giving you that option of, okay, well, if there is nothing that I want to put Prince Philip into this turn, then okay, then I can at least quest for the 2, right?
Yeah.
It'd be a whole lot worse if it was just the 1, obviously, right? But and I think that's where it makes it an actual decision. Because if it was 1 lore, to me, it's like that's not that there's not a decision, no choice. It's just I think it's a bad card, right? But with that 2 lore, I think you're automatically giving it a shot and be like, okay, I'm actually going to consider this now with the 2 lore. So that's at least what I think about it.
Okay. And another thing to remember is like this is an amber, which is a bodyguard color. So you could protect the prince from your opposing challenges and get that 2 lore until they exert something that you want to take out.
Right.
Also, so he has a banger subtitle, Dragon Slayer.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh yeah.
True.
Yeah.
I think real quick, the other thing that I think is pretty impressive about Tabard, at least not by itself, but looking at the card list, is in Steel, there's still room for Captain Pete and Donald Musketeer in the cards we already know. So potentially we could see those 2 cards become the 3rd and 4th Musketeer cards, because right now that was the only thing that weirded me out is both of the Musketeers that we've seen, one of them's Steel, one of them's Amber. So it kind of was weird that it's in 1 color, but it also is really one of the only card draw cards in Steel, so that kind of helps a lot too.
Right. I think 100% we see more Musketeers. I think 100% we're still in Steel and Amber, and that's for me the only thing I don't love about the Tabard is that like there is 1 deck this card goes into. You know, like it's useful in the deck it's in, but I don't really see it coming out of Steel Amber Bodyguard / Musketeers.
Right.
The weird thing about Bodyguard is that if you try to maximize the value on Tabard and you throw in like 30 bodyguards into
then
your
what
deck,
are they guarding?
What are they doing? Yeah, they're all like, we're all in this together, guys.
Yeah.
All for one and one for all.
And the other problem is, I think most of the bodyguards are only one lore each, if I'm not mistaken, except for maybe the Mickey.
Mickey is 2.
Mickey's 2. But
when everybody's a bodyguard, nobody's
exactly. See, I mean that's the whole bonus of bodyguard is that you're putting, like you say, little yet big lore earners behind them. I think it makes Maximus much more interesting that we'll get to later, because I think he's really doing something interesting in the bodyguard space.
What do you want to say, Knive?
Oh, I was gonna say the bodyguards are guarding Moana.
Oh,
I'm not joking. They're guarding Moana. Or Lilo, yeah.
Lilo early on, Moana later on. Yeah, I'll go with
Yeah.
that.
That's who
I
they're
think
guarding.
the Simba Cub card probably benefits the most from Tabard just because he's so cheap and easily killable. So I think adding card draw to that baby Simba card is probably the most advantageous out of all the other bodyguards.
Right.
Mhm.
Right. All right. So up here we've got 3 vanillas and then Scepter of Arendelle. I mean, obviously these 3. I mean, who was not impressed with Han's Scheming Princess stat line? 3 for 4 inkable. Like that just seemed wow. I mean,
And
yeah,
that art.
it's vanilla. Yeah, the artwork is
Oof.
phenomenal.
He's
Right.
still my heart.
But again, that stat line for that cost just seems really, really, really good. So I mean, of these 4, clearly Scepter of Arendelle is I mean the standout there. I mean, Brad already spoke eloquently about Scepter. Who else really, really likes this card? I know there's a lot of people who like this card.
It's a very good card.
It's
Yeah.
very good.
It fits in a Who's It collector deck very well.
Yeah.
Because you can keep putting support off of Ariel because you tap this for her. She quests. She gives +3 to something else. You play another item. She unexerts. She quests again, gives +3 to something else or the same thing, and you can get ridiculous.
I've loved the Scepter personally, and even in ramp decks, just because it weaves into different turns so easily.
Yeah.
And a lot of those high value ramp targets you want to get to are high lore count, so you can start putting pressure on the game late. Like Maleficent, even that we talked about earlier. You Scepter on a Maleficent, you want to quest with her anyway, so go ahead and support 3 on something else that you had out earlier. And like it turns Mickey Mouse Detective into an actual threat.
Into like
So
a 4/3.
it is beautiful.
I think it's just a staple for the entire ink, to be honest.
Yeah.
I think you're going to see this in just about every Sapphire deck list.
And I think that's why this has the edge for me over something like the Tabard. In the obviously there are some decks where it's going to absolutely shine, like the Who's It collector deck. But then like I'm not seeing a deck that is Sapphire that wouldn't benefit from this, honestly.
Yeah, I don't think there's a single person who, as soon as they saw Scepter, went just like, what now?
Oh, that's
Well,
great.
there was that one guy on
There was
Twitter.
the one.
If you remember, Jacob? We had a
Yes,
good conversation with that guy.
Wait, what happened? What happened?
It was just a long list of why he didn't think the card was good, and me and Jacob tried our damnedest to convince him, and it didn't happen. Didn't happen.
It's all right though.
Yeah, but in all honesty, I'm interested to see how many things that we talk about tonight or that we have been said before this game officially launches, right? And there's an actual a meta game established, how wrong or how right anything that we've said is going to be. Because I mean, it happens all the time. Predictions of, oh, this card's going to be bonkers. Yeah, it's terrible. You know, it's happened before. So I'm very interested to see how many of our takes are going to be right or
I mean,
wrong.
I want to talk on Hans a little bit more real quick because
And
so specifically the Amber Emerald deck that I'm trying to build around villains to ramp into King of Olympus, even without all of the cards I wanted into Pixelborn, I was streaming games of the other day, and there were like some bugs, like people were trying to do Scepter of Arendelle decks and it wasn't working. But I think my deck was working. With Lantern, you can get Hans out turn 3. And then you're questing for 3 lore turn 4, and on that turn you can throw out a bodyguard. So you run the Simba, Goofy, or Maximus just to protect Hans, and you can just keep questing. He pumps out a lot of lore.
Hang on. How are you? I may have misunderstood, but you said you're getting Hans out in turn 3 and questing with Hans on turn 3.
Questing turn 4. Questing turn 4.
Oh, okay. Understood. I got you.
Yeah, the villain theme in Emerald is looking great. I mean, even the Duke of Weaseltown is
Weaselton. It's Weaselton.
I think he's the second best 2/2 1-for-1 behind Stitch, simply because he has the villain subtype. Vicious Betrayal makes him a 5/2 for 1 ink, just out of nowhere.
Oh yeah,
And,
well, I mean, in all honesty, I'm sure we're gonna get cards that make each of the other classifications, you know, a little bit better. But I mean,
Flounder?
for what we've seen now, is Flounder is an ally, is that right? He's an
Yeah,
ally.
I keep wondering whether we'll see some sort of like ally matters thing. I feel like almost ally is the word they stick on a card if they don't really have anything else to give it.
There's so many allies at this
There's
point.
so many
There's
allies.
so
Well,
many.
someone pointed out
Yeah.
earlier that since we got John Silver, that means Treasure Planet's on the table, and Jim Hawkins could be a good inventor tribal card.
Mhm.
Yar yar diddly dee.
Shut
Being a
up,
pirate is
I
all
think
right to be.
the other interesting Amber and Emerald situation is we haven't seen. There's room in the list for a Prince Charming card, and similar to Moana, we don't have a Prince Matters cards yet. But there's a lot of princes in Emerald, and especially you got the dual-hatted one with Hans there, where he's a villain and a prince. So that should be interesting to see how that shakes out.
Yeah. There's so many ways, you know, the design can go, and that's one of the things that we've kind of been talking about on our podcast for a while, even this past couple week, with Lorcana specifically, as well as Star Wars Unlimited. There's so many. I love hearing designers talk about the thought that they put into certain design choices. And so hearing everyone talk about their game and why they made certain choices is just always interesting to me. And then seeing these things before they're talked about, it's, you know, we're talking about it now, of like asking all these questions. It's really, really cool. It's just something that I'm a card game nerd, you know. We're all card game nerds, you know. Okay.
What?
Okay. Present company excluded. All right. We've got Be Prepared, Vicious Betrayal, Marshmallow, Stampede. These are all. Does anyone here like Stampede? In all honesty. Okay. Okay. So now we've got Niven. So Niven Wero, your guys'
I mean,
hands
yeah,
just went up.
clearly it's not as good as Fire the Cannons. If you're doing an Emerald Steel deck, you just run Fire the Cannons. Why would you ever run this? But you're not always going to pair Emerald with Steel, and this gives Emerald something. And I think that's fine. I think it's good to get, even if it's conditional, direct damage in other colors. So Stampede is not a ping, it is a finishing blow.
Why is it uninkable?
Yeah,
because it's removable.
Two damage, yeah.
But
like
then we
one
have
for two.
we have inkable removal. I have no idea why this is uninkable.
I
Like
mean-
most of the cards I see with uninkable, I'm like, okay, yeah, if you they could tumble out of control if you're not careful. I have no idea why this is uninkable at all.
It's not technically removal; it's just technically direct damage. It
Yeah,
could
I
be
think
used as removal, but
if
it
this
would, I think
were
it'd be considered more
inkable,
direct damage.
If this were inkable, I think you would put it in every Emerald deck that wasn't Steel. I think that's
But
what.
like because it's not, you might not put it in any deck.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at the cards that were revealed today, all of the uninkable Emerald cards, you're telling me you're finding room for this card? I'm not buying it.
Yeah.
But it depends. It depends on the colors you're running. Like if you're already in Emerald and then you're not in Steel, well, I mean, having access to some direct damage, I mean, is better than nothing, right? So are there going to be other choices that you want to have in your deck? I mean, sure, but it's that choice. Like they're presenting you with an interesting choice here of, do you want damage? Okay, well then here's your options in this color, right? And I mean, let's be honest, you're not running Emerald most likely because of, I want to run Stampede in my deck, therefore I have to play Emerald, right? It's more of, I'm in this color and these are my options here.
Yeah, part of me thinks that I have similar views on Magic Mirror, where I think that card is not great, but maybe Evil Queen makes it better. I have a similar philosophy with Stampede, where maybe we get a Hyena card at some point that allows you to play Stampede for free or something like that, that would make this card better. But right now it's just kind of a meh to me. But I also will say, is anybody other, like Mufasa fans must be having the worst week ever.
Yes,
right.
It's been a real emotional.
Marshmallow's art is how I felt seeing these three cards at the same time.
Now here's the thing, guys. For anyone who didn't catch our video, okay, here's and I wish Jim was here to do this because he made this point and it was freaking hilarious. Okay, about Stampede. So imagine maybe you're at the top you're at the top of a cliff, right? And then maybe you like fall off this cliff. You know, when you hit the bottom, you're gonna be hurt, so you're gonna be damaged. Okay, so you're already damaged, and then there's this stampede to damage you even more. So it's a flavor win. It's a flavor win, even if you don't like the flavor. Okay, guys, come on.
It is, but my '90s heart can't take it.
Not everyone likes pistachio.
Yes, very true, very true. Jacob, you just talked about Marshmallow. You like this card, correct?
No, I like the art of this card.
You like the art of this card.
I actively don't like this card.
You actively don't. Okay, now hang on. I believe somebody was here and said they really like Marshmallow. Did somebody say that?
That was me.
Knive?
I like Marshmallow.
All right.
I also like it.
All right, so we're gonna go Knive to Trey and then back to Jacob because I want to hear why Knive and Trey like it, and then Jacob, I want to hear why you don't.
I will say Steggy was the one that said he likes it.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. All right. So Knive, Trey, and then Steggy, and then over to Jacob.
So Asterisk, I like him in draft a lot, simply because we don't have that much hard removal in draft right now. It's like you have Dragonfire and Stampede. Hey, we have an answer for Snowball or Marshmallow. It's Stampede. I keep calling them Snowball.
Could be a Snowball.
He could be a Snowball.
He was a Snowball when he was a baby.
Yeah, yes. No, the fact that he can just keep coming and keep swinging. If you pair him with Pocket Watch, it's kind of terrifying. Because if you get the ink up there, if you get to 7 ink, you can just have him challenge twice in a turn, which is terrifying. So yeah, we did a draft a couple nights back, and I got 3 of him, and it was a nightmare.
Okay, Cabled.
Yeah, though I'm gonna say like what I say with all cards that I like. It fits in control. You do, for the ideal setup, you do want the Pocket Watch, just so it doesn't die to any kind of removal. But in any control deck, as long as you can keep having cards, that's just ideal. And that's what this does.
All right, Steggy, go ahead, man.
So, like Knife said, I like him in combination with Pocket Watch. And if you have, say, an Elsa Snow Queen on the field, if your opponent plays a character, you can just exert it and then just throw your Marshmallow into it. So nothing they really play is probably going to stick around. He's really fun. So if you have like a commanding presence on the field, you can throw down, Marshmallow. You got your Pocket Watch, basically whatever they play, outside of a few characters. But you kind of got him locked down. Just throw Marshmallow into him. If he gets banished, well, just get him back and then just keep doing it. Now, yeah, it does cost a bit of resources and ink, because if you're just going to keep playing Marshmallow every turn, then you're not playing anything else. But if you have a couple characters on the field and you can just keep questing, well, your opponent can't keep anything on the field because your Elsa's exerting them and your Marshmallow is then banishing them. So he's fun, and outside of removal, and he does eat up removal, I guess, because if your opponent doesn't remove him with a removal spell, he's not going anywhere.
And here's the thing, like if you use him, he goes back to hand, and all you're doing is playing him every turn, you're still drawing a card every turn. So it's not like you're top decking and playing your top deck. You're playing Marshmallow every turn because he keeps boomeranging, and your hand just keeps filling back up. So it's card advantage.
Yeah, and are you really upset that your opponent dragon fired your 5/5/1 lore?
Yeah. So
are you really upset about that?
I'm going to forever call the Marshmallow Pocket Watch combo roasting marshmallows.
Yeah.
I mean, 6 costed, slightly understated just for a 6 cost straight away. He's uninkable. He's a super rare. You're all sitting there saying, "Oh, he's really good with Pocket Rush." Give him Rush, cowards. This card should have Rush.
Thank you.
This card should have Rush printed on it. Then we'd be having a very different conversation.
Well,
he's really good with Pocket Watch. Yeah, a lot of cards are really good with Pocket Watch. This card should have Rush on its own.
And now John is preaching.
In all honesty, though, if this card had Rush, with that stat line, it's probably 7 or 8. In all honesty.
Yeah,
that card would be.
It'd become a 4/4.
I'd take it.
Yeah,
I'd take it. I'd spend more on it. With Rush would make it a very different card, I think, and a much better card.
Right. Jacob, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just gonna say I fully understand the caveat of the pocket watch situation, and I also understand even Steggy's point to like Elsa locking things down, creating opportunities for trades. I've noticed that if you are a 6, 7, 8, especially like that's like Floodborne territory of uninkable, you have to have like big impact. And I understand that Amethyst has the pocket watch available. I just really, really hate for my uninkable to rely on the presence of something else to not have enough to basically justify its presence. And I get that, like the card advantage point that Wero brought up, that's absolutely true. It's card advantage in a long drawn out game. So maybe in an Amethyst deck that wants to play the long game, I can see more value. But as it stands right now, I can't justify a 6-cost uninkable that's going to sit in my hand, and then the turn I play it without a pocket watch, my opponent's just going to go, all right, so anyways, and start doing their thing. It's just a lot. 5 cost, maybe you can talk to me, but 6, don't know.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you. Anytime we're talking about paying 6, 7, the effect has to wow me, and I want to do it right now, or else there's that chance that I paid 6 and literally nothing happened. Yay! Woo! Feels bad.
Genie's the premier 6 cost to me of like, yes, does something immediately, is an established threat. Yeah, I love it. So
uninkable bad card. What are you talking about? Come on.
What? Oh, come on.
I mean, and like, you look at other 6s. You've got Genie on the job. You've got Giant Tink is a 6, right? Like, still possibly one of the most impactful cards that hits the board if it's set up right for her. Like,
and she's inkable.
Yeah, she's inkable. Yeah, exactly. And she's shiftable. God, you can get her out 4. Like. You
can color on her. She's colorable.
And thank you, Traverse Tavern just pointed out in chat. John Silver's a 6 cost. Marshmallow.
Yeah. It's just outpaced.
Marshmallow might be expired.
They can't all be bangers, guys. They cannot all be bangers. So, all right. Well, before we move up, I mean, there's this bad boy right here. This be prepared. Who was anyone prepared for this? Because I said,
technically Disney Lorcana warned us to be prepared for this
a while ago, right?
They used the verbiage.
They did.
So,
I'm muted again. There we go.
So that was, for anyone who missed that, somebody asked a while ago, back when like Stitch decks were the thing that everyone was like, well, this game is broken because there's no reason not to just over the board and play every creature you can, right? And they said, are we going to see any kind of answer to these sort of go wide strategies? And the reply genuinely was, well, you have to wait and see, but it pays to be prepared for that sort of situation. And you can just see him typing it, can't you?
Yeah. you can just see Rochelle.
No. At that point, it was probably Steve. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
It was probably Steve being like,
So now this is the real reason Marshmallow's bad. He can't sing "Be Prepared."
Exactly.
Not quite. Yep. He'd be a little flat. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So Knives got a dip. Knives.
Yep. I have a life to do, unfortunately.
Yes. How dare you?
How dare I have a life? I'm sorry.
Any final words for the group?
The next row is going to have a card called Reflection. It's really bad, and you should feel bad for playing it.
Wow. Okay. All right. With that being said, have a good night, Knife.
Have a good night, y'all.
What a vicious betrayal.
That was
we should talk about the vicious betrayal that happened with someone here and someone that was previously in the chat. I think
what
with
Rochelle
about
how they made Brandon pretend to be me in the chat in the Discord to reveal this card.
Wait, what happened?
Yeah, Rochelle was asking for Jaunty to reveal another card, and then B Squared Brandon said, "I'm Jaunty," and changed his name to Jaunty. And so Rochelle gave him the card to reveal instead of Jaunty. It was very fitting because it was a vicious betrayal.
So I will point out right now that when you say reveal another card, I have not revealed any cards for Lorcana.
You revealed Gaston.
No. I have been in the chat when a few of them have been revealed, and I have guessed what they are based on because Rochelle likes to play little games in the Discord. If you're not in the Lorcana HQ Discord, folks, you really should be. It's very cool. And she'll sort of, what was the one? Like, oh, what does Cogsworth always say? And I said, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Because that's literally in the movie. He says, you know what I always say, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And then she shared, if it ain't broke. And everyone in the chat was like, oh my God, John, so you must have inside information. I'm like, no, I'm just a Disney nerd. You're all here because you're trading card game nerds.
Guys, I'm just crazy.
Here because I'm Disney nerds.
There was
so
another betrayal because I thought Marshmallow was going to
now.
be the only reveal that day. So I was like, okay, it's been a couple hours. There's nothing else. I'll put up my Marshmallow video. And like right after I put it out, Vicious Betrayal got revealed. So I did another reveal that like took that scene from The Lion King, like pasted Team Lorcana's profile picture onto Marshmallow.
That's great.
Hang on.
The rules of content creation.
Hold the phone. I gotta throw this comment up there because it's so spot on. This is hilarious here. Bradford says, "I wish I could keep up with the Lorcana Discord."
That's fair.
It goes by so fast. It's so fast.
That's funny.
Yeah, I think I did. There was a reveal maybe yesterday, and then I went to lunch and I came back and there was like 389 messages in 22 minutes. I was just like,
so what I will say is if you ever go away for half an hour and come back to 400 messages, just search for Team Lorcana and you'll see why, and then you can just ignore everything afterwards.
See, I usually click on the spoiler tab and then I move on.
Yeah, I have all of the majority of all the servers that I'm in just muted, and then I just go in. I go in and I see anything. Do I need to know it? I'm good. All right, I'm gonna get back to work. So, guys, I want you guys to talk about Be Prepared because I mean when I saw that card, I'm like, holy cow. Yes. I mean a free board wipe in a game where your opponent cannot do anything when you are playing your cards. So I can potentially play this. I could potentially play this for free, and then now have the rest of my resources to build up my board. And now I'm just that much further ahead because now my opponent can't quest before at least I am able to. I love everything about this card.
So here I think
I'm not one for being like, I called it.
This is the ideal situation.
Hang on. Go ahead, Jonty. Go ahead, Jonty.
I was just gonna say I'm not one of these people that's like, oh, I called it because I think that if you talk enough about it like we all do, we've probably said everything that's come in and it's confirmation bias.
Yeah.
We forget all the stuff we didn't.
Sure.
But yeah, I remember we talked about it on this show actually. Will we ever see a full board wipe? And I was like, yes, it'll be very expensive and it will be a complete board wipe. It won't be one-sided. It'll have to be everything, at least to start off with, because we then need a runway. I did not call it being a song that you could sing for free.
No. Go ahead, Wero.
Yeah, so I think you're doing a Sapphire Ruby ramp deck. You've got Street Rat on the board. Turn 5, 6, maybe 7. You shift out Aladdin. Either quest or challenge with him once to get your 2 lore. Fan the flames, ready him, sing this, play something else.
Yeah, it's gross.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. There's so many pretty crazy lines to play that you could do with all of these songs, and it's just the fact that you can potentially play a card that costs 7 for free is just it's pretty cool.
Are there other games that have a similar mechanic to this?
Well, Convoke,
Magic
you can
Gathering
Convoke
has
a
Convoke.
card for free.
Yep.
Oh, you mean similar to singing? Convoke is the closest one. Convoke is you can tap multiple creatures. So if the cost is 4, you could tap 4 things instead of paying the 4. That's
there's
Convoke.
the souls where you can like pitch a card equal to the cost and things like that to reduce. But
maybe
one thing I think.
Oh yeah, Russian Micor has exactly this, of course.
It'll never get old. Seriously.
I wanted to say that the Be Prepared has an awesome effect, but I also think it has an effect on the game itself. Like, you don't actually have to be playing Ruby and have Be Prepared ready at all times for your opponent to already be metagaming in their head. Like, he may have Be Prepared, so I'm not going to overcommit to the board.
Yeah.
And so even without
yeah.
having Be Prepared in your deck or in your hand, when they know you're playing Ruby, it's going to slow them down for you. Because unless they're just kind of bad, they're not really, they're going to have to take it into account and kind of like pace themselves to like see if you really got it. Are you telegraphing a Be Prepared or not? So.
Yeah, is it possibility cost? Do they call that like the possibility of them having it? I think is the term. And we saw it before with if you get Tiny Tactician down on 3.
Yes,
you don't necessarily need Giant Tink. Like the chance of it coming is enough maybe to make them hold back a little bit. Yeah.
Well, that and also raises the stock of the cards after it. Like Maleficent now is even more threatening. Like, you're like, oh, I board wipe everything, go, and then you're like, okay, well, here's Maleficent, so I just removed your holding threat anyway. It's like, okay.
Isn't it great? I remember very early on, I was looking at Maleficent and be like, who's ever getting to 9 in this game?
Yep.
Yeah, Be Prepared also can burn your marshmallow, so that's good.
Yes. Yep. All right. So when we got Be Prepared, I think was when we got a bunch of these iconic songs. I mean, of these 4 here, I mean, I clearly for me, it's A Whole New World. I like Reflection. I mean, I like the ability to dig, and that's what I really like about Amethyst is they're giving us a lot of options to dig for the answer that we need. So I like Reflection. What do you guys think of these 4 here?
I mean, the problem with Reflection is it doesn't actually draw anything, and it doesn't even like scry, so you can't like put something on the bottom. You're just rearranging your next 3 draws. That's all it's doing. I think the only deck you'll actually run it in is if you're running Ursula's Shell Necklace, because it's a song, it's cheap, you can pay the extra 1 and draw a card.
The only thing I will say is, yes, it doesn't draw, and that is a big downside. The thing is with scrying though, is I don't think it needs to scry because I think this gets played with stuff like we're forgetting about the mechanic of taking the top card of your deck into your Inkwell from like Detective Mickey and the other thing that does that
one jump ahead.
And I imagine we'll see others. So I feel like the scry in this is leaving the bad thing on top and then inkwelling it through one of those other cards.
I mean,
yes,
honestly,
it's still not great.
Either that, but
I'll ink my other copy of Reflection.
For me, there's only one situation I think right now, looking at it for me, where I'd use Reflection, and that would be if you're playing an Amethyst Sapphire deck, and for 2 you can play Reflection, set your deck up for Develop Your Brain, so that you know you're going to get the best card out of the 3 and be able to choose which of the 3 you're going to put at the bottom of your deck. I think that combination works pretty well together, but otherwise I don't really see a point for this card by itself. For me though, and this is my last thing because I got to bounce, but my favorite of these is A Whole New World, just because I think even though it is uninkable, that point in the game, at least in the games I've played, is when you see a lot of people run into situations where if they don't have card draw, they're running real low on cards, and I like the ability to just pay 5 or even have a character sing it. And if I don't have a lot of cards and my opponent has, playing a card draw deck, I can get back to even with them. And I really like that. So that's why I think that one's my favorite card of those 4.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, Lorcana Dad, thanks for hanging out with us tonight, man.
Yeah, guys, have a good weekend, and hopefully
enjoy a good fight on Facebook. But
thank you for the
fight. Yes, we're the Justice Warriors on Facebook.
Me and Lorcana Dad hold up the Facebook groups.
Hold.
All right, guys. Nice. Have a good one.
All right. Take care. All right. Yeah. One. In all honesty, guys, I think one thing that not many people are really taking into account is looking at the top 3, like knowing what you're gonna draw next turn. You're still looking at the next 3 cards. So that is, especially in control matches, that's a pretty powerful effect. I understand. Yeah. Yes, we're not drawing that card, but knowing what you're going to draw into next turn, like especially if you're looking for an answer, like that kind of effect is pretty powerful. But
here's the thing: if I'm in top deck mode where I care about what's on top of my deck, hey, I drew Reflection. Like I would rather have just drawn the card,
the thing.
Yeah. I'm not going to run 4 copies of this in my deck. I'd rather run 4 copies of something that actually does something. Until we get cards that care about what's on top of your deck. There's something
Yeah.
that says reveal the top card of your deck, do X with it. Then I
Yes,
might start
yes,
playing
it
it.
makes this
Yeah.
better.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, obviously, right? But you don't have to have. My point is, you don't have to have those effects to still be able to utilize this effect. That's my only point.
I think
I
once
just
you really
don't
start
think-
looking at the amount of uninkables you can be playing, also, this is a really good way to fix your early curve. I'm not super high on the card, but like it does have uses, and it's going to be cheeky. But I don't know. I agree. It's a really tough card to play, but I like the idea that maybe I can afford to play more uninkables so I can sort out my early hand to get to where I need to be.
I think two is.
Yeah,
Oh, go ahead, Trey. Go ahead.
I looked up with the hyper calculator thing, geometric calculator, whatever. If you hard mulliganed and you trying to get at least one of these reflections, it's still only a 66% chance. And on top of that, you still don't get a guaranteed perfect curve. So like there is no like whatever instead of no immediate benefit, even if you actually try to use it to get like a perfect curve, like get it on turn 1 and feed yourself either the missing 2 cost, 3 cost, 4 cost card that you need.
And the other thing to think about is this isn't Villainous where you're handed, these are the cards you're working with. Okay, I'll work with these. You build your own deck. So you're picking 60 cards to put in your deck. What do you take out to put this in? And I don't think there's really anything.
Again, this type of effect, you run these types of effects in control decks. Like that, that is the type of effect that's the deck.
But
that
all those
that
decks in
Magic,
those cards also draw cards. So
not all. Again, not all of them. I am not disagreeing that it's better when it says draw card. Obviously, I mean nobody is disputing that. My only point is the ability to dig and see what you're drawing into is useful. That is my only point. So, all right.
Can I say one thing real quick? The one thing about songs is like the whole gimmick of it is you're saving ink to get an action. You're only paying an exertion cost. Right. And that is the only thing about this card that stuck out to me. Like if it was just one ink and it was inkable, but it wasn't a song, I think I would still have the same exact evaluation. Just because, right. You're saving one ink by singing this. So it's just one of the things that I'm like, I love this song so much. So it was kind of sad that it was just a smaller effect, I guess.
Let's be happy in the fact that we've now seen song cards that aren't the title of the song. So it doesn't mean we'll never see another reflection song card necessarily. They'll hopefully pull something out from the lyrics later on, at least.
Sure.
But yeah, let's okay, it's not great. Like, can we not just talk about the Wheel of Steel for a minute? Like, surely that's out of all of these.
Obviously, yeah, of course.
I like Mother Knows Best. I think Mother's Knows Best, I think, is my favorite of these.
I agree. Mother Knows Best is pretty phenomenal.
Yep. You think? Well, hold on, hang on. You guys, well, hang on. Are you saying you like Mother Knows Best better than A Whole New World, or do you? I mean, I guess these are two different questions.
There are two different questions.
You like it better, or do you think it's a better effect than A Whole New World? Really?
So okay,
yeah.
A lot of steel decks steel decks that are going to be running Beast Smear anyway, they want to empty out their hand, and most outside of an Amethyst deck, you're probably going to be emptying out your hand. So yeah, Whole New World is good. It is also symmetric. Your opponent does get to refill as well, and if they're not a Amethyst heavy card draw deck, then they're going to get just as much value out of it as you are. It's still good. Yeah, it's a good card. I'm not saying it's good. I like removal. I like not just, get me more resources. I like, I'm going to do something now.
Mother Knows Best isn't removal though.
Yeah, it is.
It is though.
Bouncing is removal.
It's basically a time walk.
It's not hard removal. It's soft removal.
I mean,
but it's still
sure.
removal.
But the fact that you can sing it and still advance your board and completely set your opponent back an entire turn, that's pretty good.
Yeah,
I mean,
the fact that it's singable is what makes it good.
Hang on, but how? I mean, you could potentially set them back an entire turn, yeah, but that's not a guaranteed effect of I'm definitely setting them back an entire turn.
I mean, but like the way that Whole New World works, if Whole New World isn't a steel card, I think it's actually better.
Hang on. Are you saying that for a Whole New World, or are you saying that for Mother's?
No, I'm saying Whole New World. If Whole New World wasn't steel, the card is probably better. But because everything that steel is already doing with all of like the AoE effect and all the windling down of opposing characters, why would you ever want to tap a character to literally give your opponent 7 cards back? Your whole point is to prevent them from having board advantage. And you're like, no, here's 7 more cards.
I think it's going to be best.
There's a reason Wheel of Fortune is banned in a lot of formats. Granted, different game. Obviously, granted,
entirely different game.
Correct.
I think a deck where your curve tops out at like 4 or 5. Whole New World is just straight gas, and it's like nitrous oxide gas. It will push you. Like if you're playing the aggressive steel amber deck, or you're playing the aggressive even steel amethyst. I don't care if I have a lot of cards in hand. Something that's discounted is like if you know you're going to benefit more from an effect than your opponent, you're always pretty much willing to play it. And so whenever you play against a non-amber deck, you can also think to yourself, whatever they're holding on to in their late game, they're never going to see it again. Because they're not going to be able to recur it.
That's that's enough. Like, okay, you lose cards and draw 7, and they lose cards and draw 7, but you're picking when it happens.
Yeah.
You're knowing what you're getting rid of, and they don't get to.
Yeah,
like, this card is literally banned in any other game that it's printed in. Like it's just, it's just broken.
Yeah. But in the game that it exists right now, there aren't other pieces that make it the reason for it being completely busted.
No,
but it is still an insane effect.
Incoming Narset in this
game.
Yeah,
exactly.
That's what we're waiting for.
Narset or Nekusar, or there's so many other effects.
Emerald would have a Nekusar effect for sure. If anybody did.
Emerald would,
have to wait for
I
the
highly doubt
chapter for that one.
Yeah,
we could totally see a Mulan doing Narset stuff.
Yeah, I do not think we'll see a card in Lorcana that says if you would draw a card, you draw 0 instead.
Oh gosh. Yeah.
I think my favorite part about this row is we've been talking about it for 15 minutes and no one's mentioned Hakuna Matata.
Yep.
Yeah.
We don't need to either.
I think Hakuna Matata in like a bodyguard deck where you're going to have a whole bunch of high willpower characters, and that gets them back up. So the same kind of deck you might run Rapunzel in. I just think Rapunzel's always better, right? Rapunzel is better, and we'll get to her.
Always better.
Yeah. But no.
Thanks. Well,
Whole New World, it's a good card. I like Mother Knows Best better. It is singable. You can play this and Genie on the same turn.
That's really nice.
Yeah. Along with Cusco, I think that's like your 12 uninkable cards in a green tempo deck. This Mother Knows Best, Genie, and Cusco.
Yeah, I'm getting the feeling that Wero likes to play mid-range tempo lists. Wero is that true?
Okay, I will say I did do a Pioneer RCQ and I brought a black-green toxic deck, so
that's toxic.
Yeah.
Hakuna Matata, it means no impacts. Just
How many times have you said that joke, John T?
I just thought of it there. I just thought of it then.
Well, actually, it does have an impact though, because remember, this isn't magic. You don't heal up at the end of every turn. You get whittled down. So if you can keep your challenging characters alive, you have a board your opponent doesn't. Because I called it in a video ecological succession, where you play 1-drops, 2-drops, and they slowly die. They get whittled down, replaced by more expensive things because they're just going to be naturally killed off by challenges. If you can heal up your stuff, it sticks around. You start getting a much larger board than you would normally have. So healing, I think, will be good. We just need to see good healing cards. I think
what is happening to your 1 and 2 drops that is damaging them but not killing them?
Okay, maybe the 1 and 2 drops don't survive.
Okay,
but like the 3 and the 4 drops, like you get out, I don't know. Like
4, 5, and 6.
I was gonna say like,
all right, so you get out the wardrobe on 3. It's a 3/4. It hits a Kristoff. Kristoff dies, but then wardrobe is down to 1 willpower. I get out Hakuna Matata. It's back up to 4. You could have played, but you can sing it. So you have Sebastian out or something. Sebastian sings a song. Wardrobe gets filled back up. You play another character. So you now have a much bigger board than you would normally have. So I'm not sure if
to
Hakuna
me-
Matata itself is good, but I do think there is a place for healing in this game, and there are going to be decks that make very good use of this card.
Yeah, it's best used offensively when you challenge
I mean,
their stuff and you
like,
know you
it's
have
a
it. So you
song. I
feel
think
like,
they're all.
No, I mean
playing
that's what it is, right? There's not like there isn't much happening in this game at the moment where you're not challenging into something and leaving it alive, right? Like you're challenging if you know you're going to kill it. So yeah, you this is probably played after you've challenged in, and then you're sort of resetting. So yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
My initial thoughts with it is it feels like a win more card, because even if you unless it's your verse steal, but if you get the challenge and you stay alive, the next turn they're playing something down, you could either just quest or whatever, and then they have to challenge into you because you're ahead, you have the board, you have the higher willpower characters. But it just seems like a win more card. Maybe it's not great now, but it could be great later.
But remember, challenging isn't offensive; it's defensive.
All right, Dan does not look like he thinks Hakuna Matata is a good card.
No, I mean, like, is Healing Glow a good card? Right?
Say that again.
It's not.
Is Healing Glow a good card?
No.
How much does Healing Glow cost?
Cost
it
one.
costs 1 for 2 healing.
1 for 2.
Like, is that card good?
Not really. Dinglehopper's good.
Dinglehopper is
yes, I like Dinglehopper.
Dinglehopper is an item, totally different.
That's true.
Well, true. Yes, true.
That is factually correct.
I don't want to speak for Dan, but I feel like what he's saying is that currently healing isn't particularly impactful or as strong as you would imagine it being in other games yet. Yeah,
right.
Especially
the
when
Rapunzel
then the
that
other
we're
thing
going
is
to talk about later. That card's nuts.
yes, exactly. In the same cost as this. Oh, okay, this can be sung, but in the same cost of this, we have Rapunzel.
I think it'd be interesting if Hakuna Matata kind of had a Rapunzel-esque effect where it was like draw a card for each character healed this way.
I mean, it would have been a better card.
That would be way too good.
Yeah.
But Dan, have you come up against a Maurice deck that runs coconut baskets yet? Maurice has 7 willpower. You need to ramp out and get Maurice out in the first place. But once the coconut baskets are out, you plop down characters. Maurice is never going to die.
Right. So this makes that good in that one instance.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. No, that's the thing. There are niche cards. Like we already talked about.
That's fine. You can have a niche card and still be bad, though, right?
Not every card has to be good in every deck. Not every card has to be an auto include. So that's what I'm saying is like there are going to be some decks, not all, some decks that care very much about healing because they will have a board state when their opponent doesn't. So I think in those decks, those specific decks, Hakuna Matata might be
it's
good.
playable.
It is a song.
Its impact is very low.
I think it's ironic that our most contentious is over Hakuna Matata.
Clip it right there. It's a song. It's inkable. Yeah, okay. Oh, that was pretty good. That was great. All right, moving on. Okay. So Jim and I kind of freaked out a little bit because over Mickey Mouse and do it again, just do it again to do it again to do it again, and yeah, you can't do your thing. Again, fun is a zero-sum game, and I'm going to be having all of it. So, what do you guys think about these two specifically? I think Scimitar's meh, and then Han's 13th son, 13th in line, looks pretty good. What do you guys think?
It's Ezio Auditore, Mickey Mouse, Assassin's Creed.
So one thing
didn't have a 7th Mickey.
It is the 7th Mickey, but one thing about the do it again combo with Mickey is sure they can't quest, they can challenge right into Mickey.
But, what I had said too was, am I even questing with Mickey? I'm just gonna leave him. I'm gonna leave him up. Sure, he's got 2, but I'll keep him out of harm's way, and we're just keep controlling the board. You can do that.
But yeah, Traverse Tavern, Steel Hans is fantastic. This is a fantastic card. You don't really need to say much else. It's a good card. I think Stolen Scimitar is most going to see play in any Emerald Ruby deck that wants to run all the Aladdins, because adding +2 to all of your Aladdins whenever you want, well, not all of them, but any specific Aladdin, and you can get out multiple of these. So you can have Street Rat gets +4 because you get 2 scimitars. I think that's fantastic. It's multiple uses. If you're not running Aladdin's, it's not going to be as good. You probably won't want it. I think it'll be decent enough in draft.
I have to say, I really appreciate Wero trying to find the niche lines of play and the conditions for every single card to be like, no, it's good in this particular instance. I love
Except
it.
reflection.
God bless the outcast.
True.
I think what Sullen Simmons has to me, I don't think it's a very good card, but I think we might have said this last week as well. There you can build a Sapphire Amethyst or maybe Steel Amethyst. You can build a frozen deck, and it's just frozen cards. And I think with the full set, we'll see a 60 card deck, playable deck, not good deck, but playable deck that just has frozen cards in it. And there are going to be people who want to do that. There are going to be casual players, collectors who shuffle cards together who want to do that. And I think you're going to be able to do an Emerald Ruby Aladdin deck. Mm-hmm. And I think this card goes in there, and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
To your point of trying to find niches for everything, the developers are handing us Lego bricks. And some people see, oh, this is the best Lego brick. I can put this in anything. But what can I build out of these Lego bricks? So like, I am trying to think, what can I do with this?
Right. But when you're talking competitively versus casually, like the competitive people, that's how they're going to look at it. They don't care about what I can do. It's what's going to be best and what's going to win. Right.
Well, so all you're looking at is
depending on how you're playing. Yeah, you're gonna approach with different mindset for sure.
But no, I'm not just trying to diddle around here. Like I am trying to think, okay, can I make something competitive out of this? And this is how new decks are discovered. Not just, oh, this is like a Genie. It's a one-stop shop. I'm going to put this in every Emerald deck. And every Spike is going to run Genie because it wins games. But when you start thinking about how cards interact with each other, how you can make interactions and make an actual synergistic deck, like you can have variety and you can still make competitive things, just make them weird, make them
correct.
Wonky. You have all these pieces to play with. I want to play with all the pieces.
Right. I don't think anyone would disagree, but I do think there still are going to be certain strategies that are just not competitively viable. But to your point, you're not gonna know that until you try the strategy.
Exactly.
So now, before we move on, I don't know if we touched on this, but Rochelle brought up a really good point. Said something to note. Hakuna Matata is inkable and a song, so it's a hit for Ariel's ability that you could use for ink. Situationally, you could use the heal. So that's an interesting point as well. Didn't really think about that.
Ariel can pull it off the top.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Now James,
we like the Swiss Army knife ability of songs. Like we like the fact that songs can be free and stuff. But some songs are still better than other songs.
I'd rather have a free steak than a free burger. You know what I mean? So
honestly, I like burgers better than steak.
Listen, Weirdo, we know you want to find a niche.
You know you're going to find somewhere for this burger to go.
Okay, I thought I was the Johnny Spike in the group, but apparently not. So.
I just say it again because I think you got lost in the chat before. I did not call a seventh Mickey. I was like one each color, perfect.
Oh,
really surprised.
Bloodborne Mickey.
Well, I was a little surprised that none of the 6 were Floodborne, but it still just made perfect sense, right? One in each color. Let's go. So very surprised to see a Floodborne Mickey. It's him and Detective Mickey, right? Like they're the two that you run. I think you're not running a Amber Emerald deck and using my best pal or whatever it's called. I don't even know what it's called. It's useless.
True friend,
true friend. Sure, yeah. So this is such a tangent, but I've got to say this. Years ago, I went to Disney when I was a little kid, and I had one of those autograph books where you get everyone to, get all the characters to sign the autographs. And I was obsessed with Goofy. I am obsessed with Goofy. And I got an autograph from Goofy, and then I got an autograph from Mickey Mouse, and Mickey signed it, "Your best pal, Mickey Mouse." And I crossed out the "your best pal" bit, and then went to the Goofy one and wrote "my actual best pal." I've still got it somewhere. I was 9 years old, I think, and I was like, "You tell me who my pal is, Mickey. You don't know me."
That's funny. Todd brings up a point question. Says so support is going to be an S tier strategy. Who what do you guys think? Do you guys think support's going to be an S tier strategy?
I think support's
Good. I
very
don't know about
strong.
S
Yeah.
tier, but it's gonna be good.
It's really good.
It's a
very
strategy
strong,
that
yeah.
it builds upon what you want to do to win. So it
Mhm.
literally is
Yeah.
a gravy ability, and those are
Right.
always good. So
Yeah, I think like obviously it changes the more and more cards we see. I for that reason I still think evasive is very strong as well because again I'm questing. That's cool. That's what I'm here to
Right.
do, and
Right.
I get a bonus from doing that because it's
Right.
harder to deal with.
Right.
I think evasion is going to be a little higher up than support, only because it makes it very difficult to interact with those characters. But yes, support allows you to trade your smaller characters. So you trade up from your smaller characters into the bigger characters for your opponents, which is a fantastic win. And the fact that you're also questing is and gaining your lore on top of it, gravy.
Absolutely. Okay. All right, let's scroll up here and these I think we got these today, right? Didn't we get these
Yeah.
today?
So
Very
this was
early
the
up.
this
This
was the
was
start of today. Was
This
the
was the
Rapunzel,
start of
yeah.
today. It was Rapunzel, Flynn Rider, and Maximus. So
Best Disney movie.
go. I mean, just go ahead, guys.
I mean,
Best Disney movie. I think this Rapunzel completes the princess deck. It was missing some kind of card draw, and you can be very defensive with your princesses. You quest with Moana, and then challenge something. Maybe you can get that 3 damage or 2 damage. Even if you can just get 1, that's enough to just replace this Rapunzel.
So, real quick, James, are you still in the chat? Because if you're still in the chat, I want to know what was going through your mind because you recently said, "Yeah, I really don't think legendaries are really going to be playable. They're just there." And then you saw Rapunzel. Huh? What
I
were you
think
thinking,
to be
man?
honest with you, until we saw Rapunzel, I think he was right. Like I
Yeah.
thought legendary was almost like just like the chase rarity, like for
Right.
collectionists.
okay, the 2 ruby rares, you can run those in Sapphire Ruby Ramp, and they're really
Yes,
good.
you guys
Maleficent
aren't-
gets better the more we see.
You're
Yeah,
not
and
respecting that
well, they both
BLT,
do
man.
actually. BLT and Maleficent both get better the more the more play and the more cards we see. But yeah, like Gantu,
Gantu's trash.
like he
Okay, now-
cancels
now-
both of them out.
Now I can't remember who said this, but on Twitter, okay, when they said they were going to do a Q&A, okay, I think it was Unplayable. The Unplayable Twitter account was like, "Can you spoil some cards that makes Gantu good?"
Yeah. It's pretty funny.
And
Dan,
at
Dan,
time of
what-
recording, the answer is no, they couldn't.
I don't even think it's possible.
It's your
Oh,
NDA
man.
on that.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, Rapunzel's great. That is a $100 card right there.
Yeah.
I'll call it now.
Yeah.
That's going to be
Yeah.
$100 on the singles market.
I think
Sadly.
Maximus is also very good. He's support and bodyguard. Those are 2 fantastic abilities
Oh,
slashed
yeah.
together.
Oh yeah, they go
Oh,
really
yeah.
nice together, eh?
Flynn Rider, I'm of 2 minds on it. Like, he is a good card. I'm not sure how much. Discard Tribal is my least favorite thing about Magic the Gathering. I hate getting hit by Thoughtseize and Duress and like all this other stuff. It's just like,
Yeah,
just
it's
let me play
great.
my cards.
It's great. It's
Um,
awesome. I love it.
The one good thing is like it only you choose whether or not to interact with this discard. It's like and it's your choice of what to discard, not your opponent. So there is at least that, but I'm not too happy about seeing more of this. In the
Yeah,
game.
so what makes Flynn ridiculous is 2-drop, 2 lore, and that ability.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yep.
It's going to
Yep.
force you to interact with it one way or the other. Now,
Yeah.
if you happen to be in the right colors, you get to remove it without
Right.
challenging. But
Yeah, but you're still getting a card, right? So
exactly.
he's always getting a card, which is great.
Yeah. Regardless of whether or not you choose to use a piece of removal, that's still a 1-for-1. That's still a 1-for-1.
Hold on, no, it's when he's challenged.
No,
Yeah.
but what
No, but if they
Oh,
remove
sorry.
it,
You mean you're just getting a
Yes.
removal? You're just getting
Yes.
a removal out
Yeah,
of
yeah.
the
So
Correct,
if you
correct.
fire the
It's
cannons,
still
like
a card.
essentially you're just starting fire the cannons for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean that.
Yeah,
I mean
it's still a
that's.
card.
Let's be honest. He's a cannons target, right? Like he
Yep.
the worst case, you're drawing your cannons out with him, and that's maybe okay.
Right. Or maybe you're holding a reflection in your hand. You're like, I'll just discard that. I don't really care.
I mean, I think the best.
That's
case
why you
is,
run reflections.
The best case is you're also running Emerald, and you can Reckless Flynn. So it's like, you got to challenge me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it specifically is challenged,
'cause
and,
it's
that is there is we know that's differentiated, right, between challenging and challenge, the challenger and the challengee.
The one thing to note about Maximus is he is the strongest bodyguard with 4 strength. There's no other bodyguard that has 4 strength. So like that alone is pretty impressive for even like a 5-star character. Yeah, and then the added bonus of that 4 strength gets to be supported. It's pretty good horsey. That's all I'm saying.
Right. Right.
I can't remember what the other Maximus. I get 2 Maximuses. I did not maximize. I did
Maximus-
not have to
Maximize.
I did not have 2
Speaking of
Maximuses
Maximus,
at all.
Relentless Pursuer, he's kind of the inverse of Megara here. Let's talk about Megara. She increases your
-3.
strength.
Yes.
No, Maximus is -2.
Is it
Megara,
-2? Oh, yeah.
It's -2.
Yeah.
So this is kind of we've stapled on Vicious Betrayal onto a body, which
Vicious Betrayal on a
great.
stick.
Here's a body. It can quest for 1 lore or deal 2 damage to something. But I think I don't know. I think she's a good common. I think she will see play in certain decks. I think she'll be really good in draft. Okay, we're just zooming in on Steggy nodding.
Guys, I'm looking at the banana outfit. I'm dying over here, guys. Sorry. Go ahead, Wero. I apologize.
I think Megara will be fine. I don't think you're going to build around her. I think she'll just be. I can throw her in as a 2-drop. I think she'll be fine as a 2-drop.
She's fine. She's an early. We haven't got. Have we got much competition in early Emerald at the minute?
I don't think
Cruella
so.
and Flynn now.
Yeah.
And the new Genie.
I don't know whether
early. Oh yeah, that's
no,
right.
No,
there's Donald's Genie.
The Genie's up top.
I don't know whether I'd choose her over Flynn. She might beat out Cruella for me. I don't know. I find Cruella is much better in my head than she actually ends up being on the table.
Yeah. Also, Emerald does technically right now have the most 2-drops with 5.
Wow.
The next closest is Amber.
Oh wow. So
Okay,
Flynn, so Duke of Wesselton.
New Genie. No, Wesselton's 1-drop.
Oh yes, he's the one.
Yeah, it's Negra, Genie, Flynn, Cruella, Aladdin.
All right.
Oh, of course, Prince Ali. So Team Lorcana forgot about that Aladdin today.
What happened? What?
Somebody, because we hadn't seen the full art of him, so we didn't know the artist and a few other bits along the bottom.
Yep.
And she was in the Discord, and we were like, "Oh, while you're here, is there any chance we can get the full image for the Emerald Aladdin?" And she's like, "There isn't an Emerald Aladdin." And we were like, "Yeah, there is."
Okay, the fact that we
that could have been a joke.
No, it wasn't. She thanked me afterwards and was like, "Thanks, yeah, here it is."
The fact that we hadn't seen the full card until now, I think, is the reason why people forgot about it, because that meant he wasn't in the place he should be on the Mushu Report wiki. He was down at the bottom with the lacking full art. So if you're just scanning through, okay, here's all the Emerald cards, you don't see Prince Ali because he wasn't there. But now he is.
Yeah.
All right. Scrolling up, we've got a couple vanillas. We got Elsa, Queen Regent. There's Genie, the ever impressive Abu, mischievous monkey, and then Cusco. Oh, I did not realize Cusco had 3 lore. Wow, he's a 2 for 3 for 5. Uninkable with Ward, and then no touchy.
No, this is pod racing. This is it.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's good. Very good.
Yeah.
Like, you have to get rid of him
for
through
me
a
with-
challenge. You have to sacrifice something to get rid of him. So I put him behind some bodyguards, pair him with Amber or Steel. He's going to keep questing for 3 lore forever.
Now,
Stop
Yeah,
trying to
because
hit me.
with
This is Cheshire Cat solved, honestly. This is what
because with this Cusco, if you want to get rid of him before the 3 lore, you have to pay an absurd amount. You either need to do be prepared, which is 7. So either have a 7 cost already down and sing, or pay the 7, or you need 10 lore.
That's right. He's got ward. Oh
my
gosh, dude, that's crazy.
Yeah, and you need 10 lore being 2 swords. The 2 gather your swords are pretty much like the 2 ways to
even a giant tink doesn't do it.
No.
Yeah.
Because does the 2 that giant tink does? So that doesn't work on ward either. Okay, so even worse then. I was thinking at least she can do 3 to him, but no.
Literally, unless I'm mistaken, but those are the only 2 ways to get rid of it efficiently. And that's still 7.
That's not efficient.
Not efficiently.
That's the thing. Yeah.
No, right, yeah.
I think Rochelle, by the way, don't try and roll it back, Rochelle. I saw Dan put that up. In I'm not having that.
See, I thought it was a joke saying like, I don't know what you mean by Green Aladdin. Give me the name.
Yeah.
I thought it was that the whole time. But I guess John
usually was just doing some Pavlovian stuff, just trying to get us all into using the proper names.
Yeah.
I've been a big proponent of using the proper names, even if you shorten it with saying like Emperor Cusco or Impressive Genie. Like even if you say just say it before the name.
I've started just using the subtitle a lot of the time.
Yeah,
honestly.
same. If there's more than one, I'll use the subtitle.
Yeah, like not even bother with the main name. Yeah,
but you can't do that with heels.
Yeah. The Cusco's great. I was waiting, as much as I've really enjoyed Emerald and really love where Emerald's going, I was still waiting for like its big finish. Yes, you're controlling the board and you're making them do stuff and you're making them just go for what? What you've still got to win, right? You've still got to go and get that lore.
Right.
So Cusco and John Silver as well, I think, are like the 2 that make me go, okay, there it is. That's that's the aim of the game here. Then that's what we're getting towards.
Yeah. I think even if you add Hans into that, like you just get to play threat.
Yeah.
You know, like just in concert with one another, and you're like, go ahead, answer it.
Here's all the lore. Yeah.
Now,
so what's Hans on 4, Cusco on 5, Silver on 6. Yeah, like it's a 2-turn clock, pretty much, right? Like,
that's crazy. Do we have the highest lore or the highest amount of 3 lores in Emerald? I mean, I haven't really looked. I'm just
Cusco
curious.
and Hans. Amber has Stitch and Moana right now.
Yeah. So Elsa, one of the Elsas and one of the Maleficents both have 3 in Emerald, in Amethyst.
Oh, that's right. Spirit of Winter does have 3.
Yeah. So Amethyst has 2 at the minute as well.
Okay.
What's
and can we appreciate for a second this artwork on Genie? I mean, I think that is gorgeous. I love that. I love that very, very, very much.
Yeah. I mean, you're not wrong. That's going to be an amazing looking foil.
Yes. Very, very true. Yes.
I'm really hoping that one of the genies is like a Gen Con promo, so it can be GenieCon.
That'd be so cool.
Very, very nice. All right.
Queen Regent got to be the biggest letdown, I think, that the amount of people who are like, that's going to be good.
Because we saw it in the quick start rules, and then when I saw it revealed, I'm like, oh, that's what it is. All right. Well, at least we know what it is. It's okay.
It's a shift target for Spirit of Winter. That is its point of existence.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's well statted. I think it's the only 4/4 for 4. It's just the one lore is like,
I think so.
I do like the flavor that pretty much all of the Elsas that were revealed today kill all the Hans that were revealed this week. It just
that is definitely a flavor win. That's for sure. All right. My goodness. So Scar, John Silver, Captain Hook, and then there's Jasper over there. All right, we'll get to you, Jasper, in a second. Scar is looking devious. So Scar, John Silver, Captain Hook. Of those 3, what do you guys think? What do we think here, guys?
Why are all the scars bad?
That's a really good question.
Well, now hang on. There's only 2, right? So
There's
far, this is
3.
our second.
There's 3.
There's
A
3?
mastermind ain't
The
bad.
I like
Sapphire
the
one.
Oh, that's
Sapphire
right.
one.
That's right. Okay. Yep.
I mean, Be Prepared's good, and he's on that, so you got to be happy about that at least, right?
can
They,
sing
that's it. They
Be
use
Prepared.
all his coolness on Be Prepared.
Yeah.
Like, he's such a cool character. And, like, Dynamite are doing this amazing comic series of him at the moment. It's so good. And, like, it's just... Like, he's arguably one of the last great queer-coded bad guys of the Disney Renaissance. And, like... yeah, like all the cars are just like, oh, I don't get this one. I don't know what this one's trying to do at all.
So I think
it's
what
like
this
they
one's
cut
trying
2
to
cards in
do-
half and stuck it together.
I think what this one is trying to do, so you've got your 3s or less. They can quest, you slap them down, and they can challenge, or they can be ready. And I don't know. I think we're waiting.
Yeah, I can read the
on-
card. I don't know.
No. I think we're waiting on the cheaper when you challenge and banish with this character. So things that have effects like Aladdin and Mulan, but have 3 or less. I think those will go well with Scar.
So we
Yeah,
might see some hyenas,
those.
perhaps.
I mean, this guy costs
Perhaps.
8
That's what we're
uninkable
waiting
with
on.
1
We're waiting
lore.
on hyenas because
Yeah.
that's
yeah.
what I really think of when I see this. 3 or less, they've got to have hyenas designed.
Is there room in the wiki for Shinzi, Bonsai, and Ed?
There is no
in
room
Ruby?
for Ed, not in Ruby. There
Okay.
could be a Bonsai, there could be a Shenzi in Ruby. There's no room for an Ed. I don't know if there's room for an Ed anywhere. Maybe in Steel. There's maybe, but an Ed in Steel would mean we don't get Donald Musketeer.
I mean, let's be real here. Ed's not smart enough to have his own card. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
But
I think this.
we get 2, but not all 3 of them. I don't think we just get 2 of them.
No, you're right. Yeah, I don't know. I don't. Yeah, I don't dig it. I just...
Because even currently, Ruby's just looking at 3 cost is Aladdin, Street Rat, and Abu. And those are just the 3. If you go lower, you have Donald Duck or Minnie Mouse.
Or Gaston, who can't quest
And
anyways.
Gaston,
Yeah.
you can't quest.
Right. And let's be real too. When you swing in with Gaston, he's dying.
He's dying.
gone.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
dead.
Well, maybe he swings into Zeus or Dr. Facilier. I don't know. We're, like,
Yeah, that's
I'm
true.
finding niches.
We
True, you are.
But red's the gappiest color now, though, right? Ruby's the gappiest color now. So yeah, but like perhaps we see another few cards that
haven't seen a
that
single Ruby item.
To James's question, hyenas can be like goons, multiple characters on a card. I mean, yeah, they could, but I also think with those 3 hyenas in particular, they are major enough characters where
like they're named, right?
See them correct.
Mhm.
They're
Yeah.
But I totally could see like hyenas being
There's
on a
actually
singular
room
card as
for
well.
between Goofy, Daredevil, and Monsters Dragon. There could just be a hyenas card, and that might be what we get this time around.
Yeah. Oh yeah, but Dan made a perfect point here. He's 8, uninkable, and the 6/6/1 for 8.
1.
Yeah.
Well, you can ship him for
This is-
6. You get a Fire
Yeah.
Usurper.
He's got 1 ink for 8 costs. Come on.
It already hurts to put in Hades, King of Olympus, like to put a multiple of him, and this is even worse of a top deck. It's sad. We would have to get some busted tap ability or exert abilities on 3 or less costs to make this guy good.
I can't fathom why the card he untaps can't quest if this dude only has 1 more.
Yeah, like is that broken?
Like,
yeah.
what?
Yeah. The only use case that I can really see is it's the late game you're about to win, but you're questing with all your stuff, your low drop stuff, and if you're able to quest with them next turn, you win. But your opponent has stuff on board to challenge with, and so with this, okay, now they're out of harm's way. I mean, that's the only application that I can think of at the moment, at least.
But can't you just play like any inkable 7 or 8 cost Ruby card and win the game with that instead?
Yeah, they would have enough lore to kind of cover the gap for you.
Yeah, like,
I feel like this is we've got to. There's just got to be stuff we're not seeing here that makes
yeah,
this.
I hope it's right.
Like Gontu.
Right.
He needs some love.
But then,
Like
but I agree
There's
with
nothing
I
to
agree with
Gontu.
the unplayable guy. Like I can't like this. I get it. Like if we see some low costed Ruby stuff that do some cool stuff on exerting, like I get that. I get it. I can't imagine what makes Gantu better. I don't know. I don't know what card we see that fixes Gantu. Yeah.
Another thing for
Like,
stars.
are you supposed to pair Gontu with the rogue Mickey? They can't quest, and then if anything is super small, they can't challenge. Like, is that what's happening? But you're having to go a 6 cost with your Mickey, and then also get to 8 cost with the Gantu.
I would say what would make Gontu playable would be another character saying your opposing characters that cost 3 or more can't challenge, and so then it would like totally lock out.
But that would be fine on its own, though.
Yeah,
that's
like
true.
I could not play
Yeah.
like Gantu couldn't exist, and that would be an okay cost.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, okay, I guess I'll just quest and I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't
Speaking
know.
of mass steel cards, this Captain Hook, thinking a happy thought. The
Okay,
art's
before
fantastic.
we go to Captain Hook, I
but
do want to say for Scar, and I guess this applies to Captain Hook as well, they are Floodborn, so you can shift onto them. So if you have a Fiery Usurper out, it's a 5/3. If that swings into something, it's probably going to die. But you shift out Scar can swing out, Shameless Firebrand, rather. He comes out, he's a 6/6. He can kill basically anything and survive. So there is at least that. And so Twinkletoes here, Flying Hook, what is it? Thinking a happy. There were so many cards today.
Yeah.
Yeah, he can also.
He can so
come out.
weird.
He can come out turn 3 on top of a Forceful Duelist. I think. Yeah, he's a 5 cost, and he can swing up for 5. And then he goes neener, you can't get me, which that's a much better ability than Gantu, I think.
Yeah, I think who was it just said he wasn't very good? I think he's pretty good.
I said he wasn't very good.
Yeah,
but it's just because the one lore for a 5 cost is kind of iffy to me.
Yeah, but he's just there to kill stuff, isn't he? Really, I don't. He's not really a lore gatherer. Like you say, he comes out on 3 as a 5/5. Like he's killing anything that's on the board that turn, right?
Yeah, I think the point is like he can take out 2 high costed characters, because the first one you banish it, you lose like 4 willpower, and then it can't get cleaned up. So again, it's gonna get either they don't have something else to respawn, so the next time you can just hold it back for their 4 or 5 costed character again.
Yeah, I think the way to think about this is, if you want to go ahead.
No, it's fine. Go ahead.
Okay. The way to think about this is a Jafar that you can play on turn 3 with Rush.
If you have another Captain Hook.
Which you will.
You won't. Like you won't have another Captain Hook. So like it's never gonna get played on 3.
It's gonna get cannons.
How many times have you
dies to
on
cannons?
Like Pixelborn, and there's that little new dog, and then turn 2 they play the lantern, and then like turn 3 here comes the rock star. It's every time.
I don't have these problems. I play steel and I just kill everything. It's fine.
Well, then
I do think this card
into Giant Fairy. So like
this card does make Forceful Duelist like more removal. Like at the moment you kind of see a Forceful Duelist, you're like, okay, cool, it's probably gonna like, but this card there, like we said before, that sort of that possibility cost, right? Like I don't know, I think this is good. That's a good card. It's a hell of a Floodborn as well. That's Floodborn art.
Wonderful art.
The problem I have is just like the Stolen Dust ability. I get that maybe it stops like one of their other low costs on a crackback from taking him out if you use that offensively, but past turn 4 or 5, they're going to clear this 2/5 body like really easily. So it's kind of like with Jafar. Like he's great in the early game. He's great in combination with like an Elsa or something, but you have to shift this guy to make him like really good to me.
Yeah.
And it's just not reliable enough as an uninkable. At least with like Dreaming Guardian, you can ink it early if you really need to. But
he's super strong. If you get him out on curve, he's done everything you want him to do before he dies. But any later than that, he starts not being.
Yeah, I think it's okay to have early game cards.
it's hitting that limit again of the uninkables. Like,
Yeah.
there's so many playable uninkables in Steel that I find it hard to believe this is going to like make the cut in these situational moments.
Mm-hmm.
I think you do play this or Captain of the Jolly Roger. I don't think you play both.
Yeah.
Because then if you're playing both of those, you're also playing Fire the Cannons, and then you have to make a decision: am I actually playing Grab Your Sword?
Yeah. And am I playing a whole new world?
And that's the two different. I feel like there's two different Steel builds there.
Yeah,
There's the
really
there's the
cool
direct
about Steel in
damage
general.
build, or there's the more sort of challengey bodyguardy type stuff.
Yeah. We haven't talked about it, but John Silver, guys.
Yeah,
This is
is
awesome.
Nuts.
Best card in the
So
game.
good.
He's the only
Holy
one who
classifications.
he has the ETB effect
Oh, my
and
word.
the challenge and the
Yeah,
quest
he's
effect.
awesome.
So
Storyboard
Yeah,
villain,
so
alien,
villain,
pirate,
alien,
captain. That's
pirate,
got to
captain.
be. That's got to
Yeah,
be the
he's
most
Captain.
we've seen.
What are they called? Subname? Like what are they called?
Classifications.
I believe it's classifications.
Yeah, so he's Captain Classifications for all of eternity.
Yeah, Captain
Yeah.
He is the
Classifications.
captain of my heart.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I do
whenever-
I do assume that
No, go ahead.
that this is the deck that I believe Ryan Miller said that he's a fan of.
That's exactly what I was about
which
to say.
was-
Yeah.
Oh.
whenever
Which was,
Steve Warner is
his-
asked what, like, he always
Yeah.
says that Ryan has a really gross pirate deck.
and it's probably this.
Yeah, he's
So
insane.
my question would be: is it like, is there something that makes the pirates even better, or is it just like a tribal on theme?
there's got to be a ship or something, or like
Right,
something.
yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
I did
Okay,
get an answer from
I've
the
been thinking
Q&A.
that the final Steel item would be the Sword of Truth from Sleeping Beauty, but there is a possibility it could just be the Jolly Roger.
Yeah.
Okay. What were you gonna say, Jacob?
I was going to say that I got my question I asked on the Q&A was if ramp was a specific color pie
yes.
thing.
Yep.
And the answer I got was that, yes, it is definitely more directly done in Sapphire, but he kind of hinted at the fact that each color could do ramp in their own way, possibly.
Right.
And so
Right.
I would bet, to your question, maybe there's a generic pirate cost cheaper card somewhere
Right.
that could make things pretty spicy.
That could
Right.
be Jolly Roger pirates cost one
Yeah.
less to play. I can see
yeah.
that.
3 cost item or
Yeah.
like 3 cost item
Yeah.
or it's got to be uninkable because it's gonna be good. So
Yeah.
So do you think we'll ever see an item that says all of your cards turns your uninkable cards into ink or something like that? You think
No.
we'll ever see something like that?
No.
That breaks the game, Dan.
Yeah.
See, but that's the
And
whole
card games would
point.
never print
Yeah.
cards like that break their
Yeah.
games. No,
Yeah.
never.
Have you all seen
My
Blade
only-
Runner 2049?
My only question with the idea of like a Pirate Matters deck is who else is there? Like what other key pirates could we like Shmi, I guess?
Mm-hmm.
Like who else could go into a pirate deck? Do we think
Captain
from
Jack
what we've
Sparrow,
seen?
obviously.
All right, that we're going to see in set one.
There's
Yeah.
definitely room for Smee and Steel.
yeah, Shmi and Steel.
Maybe a Floodborn pirate pan? Who knows?
Oh,
Ah,
yeah.
yeah.
You're
I
welcome,
think
guys. You're
Genie's
welcome.
going to be the other.
we
guy.
we all keep saying about this like the morality shift cards. Like we haven't actually seen one yet, right? We have not
We
seen a
have
good
not.
guy be bad guy, vice versa, right? Like
Mm-mm.
I don't think
Not
so,
like
no.
on the
me check.
classification.
no, but just like yeah, exactly. Like we haven't seen a
'Cause that-
Floodborn where it makes them
Yeah.
a goodie or a baddie.
From a villain to a hero. Or
yes,
vice
yeah,
versa.
we haven't seen
Right.
that, right?
Right.
Yeah, it's
That would
been
be
more
very-
that
that
Nope.
they
be very
get what they
interesting.
want. Is the
Yes.
Floodborn.
Yeah,
Mhm.
What'd
Would
you
y'all
say,
class-
Wero? I'm sorry.
but Captain Hook is
I
definitely
said
the most
Floodborn tends to be
Bloodborne-y.
they get what they want. So Hook gets to fly, Scar becomes king, Hades becomes king, Stitch becomes a rock star.
Yeah, it's wish
Mickey's a
fulfillment.
rogue.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mickey wants to be Assassin's Creed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Apparently.
Ezio, call me Mickey Auditore.
Was that Welsh you were doing then, Dan?
He's gonna plummet into a vat of ink down below.
And you'll hear the Somebody was talking about they were a little bit let down with Horace and Jasper.
I think
Did somebody
Jasper's
say that?
really
I think
good.
Jasper's okay. Yeah, Jasper's
Well,
pretty
more
good.
so, I think
art,
whoever talked about it was from the standpoint of they're not playing off of each other like Flotsam and Jetsam were.
Hmm.
I
Yeah.
can't remember who said that. I'm sorry.
I think that was Wero.
No, that was not me.
That was not
It's
you?
probably
Maybe
someone who
I thought
left.
it was.
It may have been Lorcana.
That could have been.
Knife.
That could have been. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Could have been.
I hope that the Flotsam and Jetsam thing is just a thing for them, and we get one or two of each of them in every set.
Not
in a
every set.
And in a
not
couple
every
of years'
slivers.
time, we can do a
I hope
Flotsam
you're
Jetsam
right.
deck.
It
Yeah.
sounds fucking great.
One of each a set is fine because that's still
Sounds so good.
That's still 15 set. No, that's bad math. Hold on. If we get one of each in each set, we get two in a
It's
set,
2 per.
and
That's 8.
that's 8 cards, and there's
You need
60.
15 cards.
So you need 15.
complete.
So like 7. That's still 2 years away before you can do it.
Just like
But
run
soon.
through all the keywords with Flotsam and Jetsam. So like next set, there's the ruby ones. They are or they're amber and they've got support and bodyguard.
Yeah, but then also you could just do like all Flotsams get 1 willpower, or all,
Yeah.
like all Jetsams. Like I can totally, I really hope that's what they're doing, and in 2 or 3 years' time we can build a
I'm
really
for it.
gross Flotsam Jetsam deck.
Totally for it.
Hang on, Jacob.
Yeah.
Can you do your can you do that soon again for us, please? Go ahead.
Soon.
That's great.
If we're talking about
like-
characters that pair off with one another,
Uh-huh.
Chip and Dale, let's go.
Oh.
Yeah.
I can see Chippendale. I
I
do.
Would,
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, would they be even in? Technically,
As much as Jack Sparrow or the Musketeers, like so, the Musketeers is
The
the only
Musketeers, yeah.
ones, the only ones that kind of break the animated canon rule. So they're obviously okay with it. There's precedent now,
I think
but
that's
whether we'll see
because
other stuff.
those characters are in like the canon they're looking at, and so it's just that's why they're Dreamborn, is because they're not necessarily recognizing the movie as canon, but they're letting the characters play in that space.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, they are Dreamborn ones. So.
Turtle Dude makes a good point. Some Rescue Rangers would be great. Yes, 100%. We'd love to see that. Now, we got a good question here from chat. Torres88. He says, or they say, so if a card has high willpower, we say they have a big butt or a large backside. Okay. What about cards with a lot of lore? Do we say they have a big brain or something like that?
Ooh.
Very
Interesting
Sugi
question.
from Lorcana Cast has been saying batteries.
Yeah, I say battery.
That's from Keyforge, I think.
If it has 2, if it reaps for 2, it was a battery, right?
Right.
So we need something for 3 then. Like,
Well, last week we were I was calling them vanilla.
AAA.
Yeah.
AAA. Yeah, you've got double A, triple
9 volt. My God.
9 volts 4, yeah. 9 BLTs of 9 volt.
That's good. That's
You
good.
put the BLT on your tongue, it'll shock.
He's a D
Careful.
battery.
Licky Mickey.
Oh no!
Oh no! Don't Google
I'll
that.
stop. I'll mute myself. Don't worry about it.
Ban. Where's the ban button?
Anyway, Long John Silver, he's a great card.
Yeah.
Let's hand out Reckless to everything.
To bring it back, I'm very surprised to see 2 cards that are very like same color, same cost, same movie, part of a duo, announced at the same time, shown at the same time, but being quite different in power level. That's weird.
Oh yeah,
because I think Jasper is a pretty solid emeralds, early emeralds, and then Horace is just whatever.
Well, I think it kind of fits the movie because Jasper thinks he's the brains and Horace is more the muscle.
But Horace has the less willpower.
he hits hard. Can't take many punches.
Yeah. All right. Well, these last 3 here, we've got 2 Elsas, And then we've got another Tinkerbell. So, I mean, obviously, Spirit of Winter is a pretty crazy card. And then you've got Elsa Ice Server, and Elsa and Ruby. I have to say, was very interested to see that.
Yeah.
And then we've got Tinkerbell, Peter Pan's ally. So, what do you guys think of those?
What I think about Spirit of Winter is if your opponent doesn't have too big of a board, you're essentially getting 2 free quests with her. You shift her out, you exert, and they can't ready, so you immediately quest. Next turn, those things don't ready, you just quest again.
Yeah, it's great.
Card's insane.
Yeah.
It's really good. Again, it's going to be $100 card on the secondhand market all day long.
The foils of these are going to be like 300 probably.
Easily. Because it's not only is it a great card, it's such an iconic character as well, so you're going to have collectors searching
it's
for
like when they print a really good Charizard actually competitively in Pokemon.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It goes to the roof, right? Just even when it's a powerful one. So it's just good.
It's really good.
I wonder with the arts situation on the Ice Surfer, I see like the red action lines in the underneath the glacier ice a little bit, but this card has a lot of like sapphire look to it. Like I know it's blue, but like it has swirls and it has circle imagery and stuff and flow. Like I'm wondering if this became a last minute Ruby and intentionally like was maybe a different ink in development at some point.
I'm sure people who are a bit more up on it and probably a little better with their color, because I'm quite colorblind. It's genuinely the first card. Thanks for laughing at my disability. It's genuinely the first card where the art does not match the color of the card. Like I can't. Yeah. There's not like everything else really seems to tie in, but that art does not look like a Ruby card.
Yeah. To speak on the text of the card, though, I am really happy to see an Elsa recognize an Anna, just to have like the play off each other. What's just weird to me is we've seen a lot of Elsas in Amethyst, and we've seen the Anna in Amethyst as well. It's because Elsa is in the card art for Let It Go. I expected Elsa to pop up in Sapphire.
Yeah,
I still thought maybe she was going to be a legendary in Sapphire. But having another Elsa in Ruby kind of splashed that also references Anna in the same idea of freezing things down, it seems off ink identity to me. But
Weiro, I'm going to guess you've got your thing there. Can we get an Anna in Ruby?
There's no room for, let's see here. There is a possibility of an Anna in Ruby.
So I
have all of my fingers crossed. I need a Ruby Alice. I need an Alice in this first chapter.
I think it's a Ruby Anna because I think any card like that where it's referencing names, there needs to be multiples of both for it to even be a playable.
I mean, it is evergreen as well, so
it is. But I think even at the gate with set 1, they're gonna want it to be tight.
Is there room for a legendary Elsa in Sapphire? Or sorry, an Elsa in Sapphire?
We haven't seen any legendaries in Sapphire so far. As far as
based on the name, though,
there is no room for Elsas. We go from Donald to Flounder.
Well, that hurts.
D2F.
Johnson,
I don't know if we have the same interpretation of those letters.
Donald to Flounder. That's
Donald to Flounder.
What else?
Over the pond. That's different.
I did say D2F, not. Anyway, Ice Surfer does have some redness in the ice, though. There is like this spiky red stuff.
It could have been last minute additions when they said, it's actually a Ruby card, fix it.
Yeah, make this Ruby. And maybe it's just that like if they made that red, it would look like lava. I don't know. Like I'm no artist.
Fair.
But yeah.
Tinkerbell's interesting though. Kind of hints at a pan and maybe amethyst. I don't know. But having an extra like on the card, like kind of like I think Jetsam is having evasive stapled onto an amethyst card. Sucks that it's uninkable as well. But if going for different strategies, it's at least 2 lore. It's pretty respectable.
Yeah.
And it's a persistent ability too. It's not when it does a thing. It's just persistent.
They just have it.
Yeah. Have we seen any other Peter Pans, or is it just that one Emerald Peter Pan that we've seen so far?
The one.
Yeah, just that one in Emerald at the 3-3-2-1.
Yeah.
Okay. So can we squeeze any more? Yeah, Emerald. Amethyst Pandex. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not a huge. I'll be honest with you. I'm not a huge fan of cards that name another character. Apart from, I really like that Flotsam and Jetsam name each other. But yeah, the ones that I don't know. I feel like there's just one deck that does it, and
it's too hand-holdy for.
Yeah,
making
it's probably great. There's like, again, I'd say before, there's a casual market that probably laps that up, right? That I want a frozen deck, and these red Annas and these red Elsas and these purple Annas and these purple Elsas, and I shuffle them all together and let's go, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I don't love it. It's a bit too railroading. Did we lose someone?
Yeah, Wero just messaged, said his power blipped.
Oh shoot!
Oh no!
Dang.
Yeah, so we'll see if he gets back online here.
Lend him your energy.
Just go. Wow. All right. This has been pretty crazy. All right.
Can we actually go back to John Silver, because we didn't really talk about his ability at all. We talked about
insane.
pirate, all its attributes or classifications, and then that was it.
Yep.
Being inkable, 5/5 stat, 2 lore, and then enter battlefield ability and quest at the same time. Not same time, but can do the same ability.
Right.
This is the first one that has that.
Oh yeah.
It just seems nuts to me.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's just Tinkerbell for Emerald in the aspect of like, man, this card does everything.
Yeah.
Right.
It's just so good.
I'm still not sure how good giving stuff reckless is.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only thing I'll say about it is I'm still not convinced that that's super strong.
With more songs coming out, it makes it a little worse.
Mm-hmm.
Give them more options in each ink.
Right.
And even if they can't do anything, they're hitting into you, right? Like it's not.
No, they can't. They can't quest.
No, I'm saying if you can't trick a song
attacking.
out or whatever.
Oh yeah, they're gonna run into your dude. Yeah.
They're running in, right? Like that's not great. Like it's like you might kill them, but still, it's you know what I mean. Like I'd rather something that just shut them down. Like Elsa's ability is just
Elsa's insane.
Is much better. You know, I still don't think Reckless is particularly good.
So I think a card like this is going to require more tight technical play to be able to set up the board state that you want to make the Reckless work properly.
Yes.
Right. But I think it's very deep card as far as that goes.
Right. Yeah, because this is the type of card where I don't want to. I actively want to quest with him, right? Because he's got the 2 lore. But the moment I do that, he is now in harm's way, and I want him to stick around for multiple turns. So I want to be sure I have things set in place that are going to be to my benefit, so I don't lose.
I really like this guy with Genie and with Mother's Knows Best, so you can like kind of set up those board states where you're like the character you're giving Reckless is a character that trades poorly into your board,
with whatever you've got.
So like I like that whole like kind of lineup of synergy that you can get away with,
and the fact that he has it on play as well. So that first turn, if you've got like a Cruella and a Cheshire Cat or whatever, like all day long, you want people to be hitting into those.
Right. I think James kind of hit the nail on the head here. Says Emerald's skill ceiling is going to be insane. Hardest ink to master, in my opinion. I would tend to agree with you, James, based off of pretty much everything we've seen so far.
It's going to be one of the harder ones to play against as well. Like you're just constantly forcing your opponent to make pretty bad decisions like the whole game.
Yeah, you're constantly telling them what they're allowed to do.
Yeah, you're like, all right, here's the rules, but here's the
again,
other rules.
fun is a zero-sum game, and I'm having all of it.
Anytime you can make your opponent have to use mental effort on something other than their plans, it's always good competitively.
Oh yeah,
right. Yep, 100%. It was. Did anyone want to say anything else about John Silver, or just yeah, that's a pretty crazy card?
Yeah, it's a pretty crazy card.
That was pretty much it.
It hits so many different things. It's a strong card. It's full of classifications. It's from an IP that we all but assumed wasn't happening.
Did you really assume it wasn't happening in the first chapter?
I felt like we'd seen everything we were going to see IP wise. Honestly, I feel like at this point we're just kind of filling gaps. So that does surprise me. I don't necessarily think we'll see any more from it. Like, I do think there are going to be some cards that we only have. Like, I got a feeling Rabbit's Pocket Watch might be the only thing we see from Alice in Wonderland.
For Alice in Wonderland,
yeah,
Cheshire
for set
Cat.
1.
Same thing.
Oh, Cheshire Cat. Sorry, yeah.
Like Magic Mirror might be the only thing.
Yeah, it
the-
could be
the
just
Queen.
almost like they're just giving us a card that's like, yeah, we know, like we'll get to it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, yeah, the Queen. We've seen the art for the Queen, so we know
Right.
she's coming. But even still, just 2 or 3 cards from a thing, and it's like, yeah, you will get more. You know,
right?
I think there's some that we're clearly not getting in set 1. I'd be gobsmacked if we see a Pinocchio or a Jungle Book card at this point.
Right.
I feel like
I don't see it.
Pocahontas. Yay.
Right. Right. Now we are supposed to be getting in Steel Aladdin. Is that correct?
Mhm.
Where did I hear that?
Yes, there is a Steel Aladdin. Sorry about that. My power blip.
Welcome back.
Because too many people are using their air conditioners right now.
We lent you energy. That's why you're back.
We went.
we gave you all good vibes.
Just like Indiana Jones me. But no, yeah, we saw in the Lorcana website, there's the pages for each of the inks, and they've got like their little previews, little hexagons of character portraits, and there's extra ones that are just sort of in the back end that aren't public, but are still them. And one of those is. We also know there's going to be a Sapphire Hades. There's going to be a Steel Lilo. I think that's what's. Oh yeah, there's a Sapphire Chief Tui, and I think that's all the ones that we know.
Okay.
That we haven't seen yet.
Yeah.
There was a lot of them that we saw the art on there for the Pongo and Timon and loads of them, but they've all started trickling out now, right?
Yep. All right. Well, so with all of that, I mean, we went through pretty much all of the cards. James has got another thing here. Says, looking at the diversity of TFC, I can feel like there's no way they can release 4 sets a year, but there's so many more films, characters, songs, and other references, not to mention Dreamborn and Floodborn. Yeah,
there's no way they can do 4 a year.
No way.
That is what he said. That is what.
You mean no way they
yes.
can't?
He does say that
there is enough. There's a lot of Disney material.
Purely with Dreamborn, I was just going to say. Oh, go ahead. You're the host. You go ahead.
So all I was gonna say was, even in the same character, forgetting Dreamborn and Floodborn, there's so many instances within even a singular movie where the character shifts over the course of that movie, and there's so many moments in time in that you can make so many cards even off of one character. It's insane. It is.
Yeah, even for storytelling purposes, they could just have an entire set of Floodborns. Like they could just literally tell their own story in an entire set if they wanted to.
Yeah, right.
You could make a full set based around the Black Cauldron.
Yes.
A bare minimum, a Storyborn character can have 3 cards, like just the normal 3 acts of a story.
Yeah,
right there. That's 3. Every single character times it by 3.
Yeah, but even okay, we've got Abu there, 3-costed 3/2 for 2 lore. Next set, give me a 3-costed 3/2 with 2 lore and evasive, and it's Abu stealing an apple.
Eventually, they're going to run out of Pokemon to use for cards,
right?
You know,
but then they don't.
Right? Yeah, right.
Yeah, there's going to be new mechanics every set.
Right.
Well, with Pokemon, they just keep.
Oh, did he? Is he back?
Is he gone?
Oh,
Nope.
no.
Is he gone? No.
The ether.
No. The ether. The
Oh no! You missed. It's me. You hitting me?
Yeah. Jacob, what were you saying earlier?
No, I was on Uncommon Cardboard with Lee Barbs earlier, and one of the things that he brought up was Dreamborn as a thing. Dreamborn as a whole mechanic is basically allowing them to, like, once they get past, let's call it the base set, let's call it like the storyboards we know, you can make whole sets kind of like Magic does, of like, we're going to this world, the Musketeer world. That's this whole world has all the characters themed with the Renaissance, and you can then have like even like going crazy with it. I know we've seen like Space Lilo.
Right.
Like in the cyberpunk world, Aladdin is an actual street rat. You know, there's
100% thing where we're going with it. I think it's going to be. I do wonder whether it's why maybe like things like the Jungle Book are missing, because we might get like a jungle set. And obviously the characters from jungle-y movies get put into it, but then also we get Mickey Mouse Jungle Explorer, and he's got his pith helmet on or whatever, you know. I totally see that happening. Under the water set, we get loads of Little Mermaid, but then we also get other characters as fish or whatever.
It's literally like Kingdom Hearts when they're visiting all the different worlds, right?
I mean, to that point, like this set's had 6 Maleficents now, or 5 Maleficents.
7 Mickeys.
7 Mickeys, 5 Maleficents, 4 Elsas. I think they're the top.
And 2 Maximuses.
Yeah. For some reason, 2 Maximuses.
I had this conversation with one of the customers in the store. He was afraid that they were going to, burn everything in the first couple or 3 years and it'd be done. I said, that is not with what I've seen and not with what I've heard.
I mean, they're working on set 7, right? Aren't they working on like set 7?
7 or 8 now, yeah. I think it'll get to the point where it's like, like in multiple sets time, you'll be like, oh, I wonder if we'll get a Flynn Rider in this set. Like, I wonder if I'd really love to see a new Flynn.
Right.
Like, like there's a bit of a meme in Magic where it's like bear with set mechanic. And it's just like you get a 2/2 with whatever the keyword is for the set. And I do wonder if, we'll see like that. Oh, I wonder if we'll get a genie with explosion, because explosion's a thing this set. You know what I mean? Like, they'll just keep, like, we'll just keep seeing them over and over again, and we won't be bored of it in the same way that people aren't bored of new Pikachus or new Nissas or new oh god, what's her name? I've got Professor Onyx stuck in my head.
Sycamore?
No, I was thinking in Magic, the Liliana. Sorry, we never get bored of seeing new lilies or new any of the planeswalkers, right? Like they're all just derisions of a theme, and we're cool with it, and that's exactly what we're going to see here. We'll never get fed up of the new Rapunzel card, or it's eventually at some point they just become vehicles for mechanics, and that's fine.
Right. John T. James says Tarzan. Are we getting Tarzan?
No. We are not getting Tarzan.
Unless they literally release like 10 Tarzan cards at once to end the set or something.
Oh no. I will die on this hill. We will never get Tarzan in Lorcana.
Oh, ever?
No, there's a very strange copyright weird thing going on with Disney and Tarzan, and for that reason, you don't see Tarzan anywhere anymore.
Do you think they'll figure it out for Lorcana? Do you think they'll make the dive and try to
maybe
figure it out?
It hasn't been worth them figuring it out for a live action movie or a theme park ride or any other merchandise in the last 10 years. So I don't know why this would be any different, but I'll happily eat my hat when it happens. But I would put money on us never seeing Tarzan in Lorcana.
Okay.
There is a thing with Pokemon where some magician that I believe the way that Kadabra is in Japanese, it's that guy's name. So he sued Pokemon saying you're copying my spoon bending magic. And so they couldn't make a Kadabra card for like 20 years. And so it was either Abra and Alakazam or just Alakazam.
Yep.
And then just this past year, like a year or two ago,
that's so weird,
they finally settled, and now they're allowed to make Kadabra cards again.
Now, hang on. To James, to your point, he says Smash Brothers moved mountains to put Sora in the game. Anything's possible, I guess. The thing with that, though, in particular, was Disney was the problem, for lack of a better word, problem. They were the ones who were going to have the issue of, if there's Disney associated with this, they were the ones who had the initial issue with violence with a
Mhm.
Disney character. So that was the issue there with Smash Brothers. I remember.
Also, we have to remember that Disney is the licensee of this game. Ravensburger don't
Correct.
have Mario money
Right.
to make these things work. Not yet,
Right.
anyway.
Right.
I will add one more thing to the Kadabra story. Was the guy finally caved because they settled on
He
something
settled.
probably.
Yeah.
But was his granddaughter said, "Hey, you should kind of stop this." Like
Just
pretty
that.
much the granddaughter was like,
Right.
you gotta let them do it, man.
Right.
Yeah, it'd be cool. I'd love a trading card game with my name on it. That'd be awesome.
Right?
It's pretty sweet.
But here's the thing: give me some actual money instead of my name on it, and I'll be good.
Well, like I say, I'm pretty sure they just wrote a check in the end of
well,
it.
yeah,
But
right, for sure. But
there
like,
was there was a rumor, one of the I don't know, Pirates of the Caribbean 12 or whatever they're on. I don't know. one of the later Pirates of the Caribbean movies. They'd put out a thing that somebody was going to play Jack Sparrow's brother, and he was going to be called John T. Sparrow. And there was a couple of articles on it, and about 100 people sent me this article saying, "Oh, you're going to be in the movie," because that's my name. But if you don't know my surname, it's John T. Sparrow. And I was like, "Oh, please no!" And in the end, they changed it, and it ended up being his uncle, and it was Paul McCartney played his uncle or something, and that was the character in the end. So they got rid of it. But yeah. So actually, I'm not sure whether I'd love it if my name was on something like that. I don't know whether it'd be great.
Guys, can you imagine seeing Jaunty dressed in pirate garb with his accent?
You can totally pull it off.
Jaunty thinking a happy thought.
That's what I'd look like as well. Yeah, I wouldn't look badass pirate. I'd look
like
You're probably the worst pirate I've ever heard of.
But you have heard of me.
Have heard of me.
As I flounce away.
Nice.
All right. All right. Well, we just got another question here from Turtle Dude. Says, out of all the IP that we've already seen represented in the game, what character card does everyone think we will see revealed in the final 33 cards?
Ursula. Amethyst Ursula.
Amethyst Ursula. Okay. All right.
Not only will we see Amethyst Ursula, I think she's clearly going to be the big bad of the narrative. Yeah. With all this seaweed hanging around, it's clear that she's the baddie. That's one of the things they have to do with these games. They did it with Mirrorverse as well. Is that they're not bringing new characters in. So the way they form a narrative is that one of the classic baddies finds this new power and decides that they're going to be the ones that takes it on, right? So at the beginning of Mirrorverse, it's Maleficent finds this new world, and she's like, "Well, I'm going to conquer this world now," And I think that's how we'll probably see the narrative of this game play out. So yeah, I think Ursula is a great shout.
Right. James says, but the Jaunty card would just be B squared in disguise, another vicious betrayal.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah.
But Star Wars is not coming to this game. Otherwise, we'd have the Attack of the Clones.
Very, very nice. Very nice. Any other characters from other IPs that you guys want to see in the final 33 cards?
I wonder how many more vanillas we'll see, and I wonder who they would be fleshed out with. I could see, like some of the monsters that Hercules takes on during his sort of training montage. I think they would make not the Titans from the end necessarily, but like the dude that's messing with Meg at the beginning of the Water Guardian or whatever it's called, or that kind of thing. That I feel like that'd be really good to see those, because they're sort of the arts and stuff that impress me more, I think, and not the big hitting characters. It's the ones where they've sort of dug a little deeper and pulled something out to make it work.
Yeah.
Since we've already got Sword in the Stone, I absolutely want to see Madam Min.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I love me some Madam Mim. I would really like to see another Archimedes card that does a little bit more than just being a vanilla, right? But I do like the fact that I've got a video coming talking all about vanilla cards, right? And then like evaluating them within the context of the game in which they exist, right? And it seems like this game in particular, vanilla cards are worth a whole lot more. One, because they can do more things than in other games, right? There's the different rule sets, but also it looks like a lot of these vanillas, a lot of them are inkable. So the vanillas are really going to lay the foundation for your deck. And that's the vibe I'm getting. That's kind of what I'm seeing. But if all honesty, if I had to pick a character or IP that I haven't seen yet in the final 53, give me a Radigan card. Would love
You've always said that,
to
haven't
see
you?
more. Love to see Great Mouse Detective get some love for sure. So yeah, I'm right there with you, Torres 88. Now, real quick though, Turtle Dude brought up another point. Says B Squared has shift and can only be played on top of a Jaunty card.
Has this gone sexual now?
I mean, you did. We didn't.
Yeah, right. Like, now we know where you're at.
D2F.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, all right. Any other characters, IPs anybody wants to see in the final 53, or have we kind of pretty much exhausted it all?
I don't know if we can fit a Pocahontas in, but I would just love to see a Pocahontas.
I was surprised when they showed us all those the songs that we didn't see Colors of the Wind.
Yeah, even like a subtle Miko or something.
Yeah.
Or I forgot what the pug is named. I have a pug dog, so I'd like to see that pug.
Yes. Okay. Okay.
Not that they have to
Percy,
like save things for future chapters, but I think it's okay. Like we already kind of touched on this. It's
Yeah.
like it's okay if you just have like an entire, Pocahontas theme, encompass an entire chapter. So
yeah, like I say,
I'm
if they did like some like a wildernessy type thing, and they could that could be the set, that could be there's a movie that hasn't come in yet that they release with it, and then everything else sort of ties around it. I can totally see that working because it's
What's
going to
the
get
next live action coming?
That wouldn't surprise me either. Yeah, if they even try and tie it with that.
Yeah.
But Percy, is the pug in Pocahontas.
Yes, Percy. Willie the Giant. I love it. Ohana Lorcana. That is perfect.
I mean, the IP is there.
Absolutely. All right. Well, we have gone on for quite a long time tonight, everybody. Now the last thing I want to touch on real quick is next week is I believe it's Lorcana week at the Gamer. Is that correct?
Yep.
Does anyone know? Does anyone know what to expect? Because I have no idea what to expect.
I believe Eric said that they won't specifically have a lot of spoilers for cards, but they will have a lot of interviews and like specific, maybe like here's a deck gameplay or here's an interview with Ryan Miller, just stuff like that.
Yeah, I do worry that some people have perhaps misconstrued it a little, that it's like an official thing, and it's not. It's the Gamer just having a big week of stuff, and I know one thing they're doing because I'm in it, but other than that, no, I don't. But he has said there's going to be sort of like 3 or 4 or 5 even articles a day. But I would be very surprised if if Team Lorcana haven't thrown a few spoilers their way for it. They've already spoiled cards on there. But yes, it's for the most part, it's just going to be a lot of ancillary content to get us all hyped up for Gen Con, I think.
James, thanks for hanging out with us tonight, man. It was good to see you. Hopefully, I don't. James, are you going to Gen Con? Am I going to see you at Gen Con, sir?
Yes, he is.
All right. So, yeah. Speaking of Gen Con, how many of you guys here are going to Gen Con? Yes. Yeah. Oh, all right. Yes. This is. I'm sad for Steggy and Brad. I'm sad for you guys, unfortunately.
Yeah. Taking care of a 90-year-old grandmother takes up my other part of the time, and I don't have anybody that can stay with her for that long. So
gotcha.
That puts me out on that one, but I do have a couple locals that are going. So
okay, I will. I'm in the process. So next week, I'm going on vacation next week. So I'm kind of prepping before I leave for vacation, because when I get back, I'll have one day before I got to leave for Gen Con. So I'm getting all the equipment ready. So I'm like, all right, we got to make sure I've got my camera, batteries. I'm bringing like 4 mics. For like handheld mics, so I'm wanting to get a bunch of people just around, just to talk with Mike. So I want to make sure we can include a bunch of people. Rochelle says she'll be at Gen Con, so that's
I should hope so.
Yeah, I would hope so. So, all right. Well, I mean, with that being said, we're gonna wrap it up here. Dan, Steggy, Jacob, in particular, guys, thanks for being here. This is your first time, so I appreciate you guys hanging out. This was a lot of fun.
I had a great time. Thanks for letting us come on.
Yeah, it was my pleasure. My pleasure.
I gotta do it again, guys. I gotta do it again. I did enjoy seeing the giant banana here.
It's just the fact that he had it to hand. I think
it's the Halloween costume, and well, I'm so hot though. I'm so hot. I'm gonna be right.
It's a Halloween costume. It's July.
Oh no.
All right, so
awesome.
as we wrap up, guys, I'm gonna go through each of you real quick. Just give if you guys got any last things you want to say. Dan, start with you. Any last comments here?
A lot of fun tonight, guys. A lot of cards we broke down. Anyone looking for me, I'm at TFM Lorcana on Twitter and Facebook, all that fun stuff.
All right, Steggy, what about you, sir?
I had a blast. I've always been in the chat, but actually hanging out at the big kids table has been a lot of fun. I make some videos too. I like to get my thoughts out. I'm just at the Steggy, I guess, if you want to listen to me ramble. But this was fun. I'm so hot.
And guys, don't hesitate. Drop your links in chat if you want people to go check you out. Drop your links in the chat for everybody. Jacob, what about you, sir?
Yeah, it's been a great time being here. It's nice to actually get to digitally meet Trey and John T and Brad and even Steggy and Dan face to face. It's nice to finally meet y'all and get to chat with y'all. And you too, Dan. I really appreciate the chance to come on here and get my voice out there and kind of give some input on some of these cards because I know I love to give it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Awesome.
We have a YouTube channel, Ready Set Draw TCG, and a Spotify and YouTube podcast, Ready Set Live. We're always active on Twitter, Ready Set Draw TCG. Love the conversation, so bring it.
All right. Cabled, any last thoughts from you?
It's a blast. I hope we get the starter decks next week so we could try to jam some games before Gen Con. I'm actually kind of going back and forth if we actually will get the full lists, but I'm hopeful. I had a blast here. Can't wait for Gen Con.
If we don't get it before Gen Con, I'm pretty sure we'll get them on Thursday.
Yeah.
And that's the reason why I think we will, because if we don't, then the Thursday players are at a disadvantage. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
So I feel like in the for fairness, they should come out a little bit before so as that players can start to get ready.
Right. And then Brad, any last thoughts from you? Brad, you're muted.
Sorry, I did that intentionally with my speakers, but it's always fun to come on and chat with the group. Appreciate being able to do this. My Twitter handle is at colot_informant. That's a reference to old L5R game. I do have a YouTube channel. I currently have a series for Lorcana on Mondays. It's called Maleficent Mondays. So I don't know if I'm going to pack all the spoilers in this one because holy crap, that'd be an hour and a half. But otherwise, also an LGS owner, so that also keeps my time busy. So you can imagine some weeks don't get recording. So
Yep. And then John T, last thoughts from you.
Yeah, I've had I love being here, Dan. I've had a blast. Nice to get some new faces on as well. Lots of good input tonight. You can find me wherever they sell good dog food. I don't know. I'm around.
Well, you've got a your channel is new, so
yes,
you got a new name.
I should say yes. It's the Inkwell now. The Illumineers was getting a bit crowded.
Yeah.
So we've had a little bit of a rebrand before the big launch, and if you're ever in Southern Ontario, we have a store. We're called the Game Chamber. We are sold out of Lorcana already, but still.
All right. and Wero is back just as we are wrapping up. So
say bye, Wero.
I was honestly surprised you were still here.
Yeah, I'm honestly glad you came back though, just to give a final farewell. So, do you have any last thoughts for the group and for chat?
I am hoping John Silver means we get more Treasure Planet cards in this set. I would love to see Jim Hawkins I would love that. I just want to see what the rest is. I want to see Ruby items. Like we've seen so much Emerald now. We need some Ruby love.
And Sapphire legendaries, right?
Yeah, we need both of those.
I mean, everyone else said about how nice he was to chat and stuff, but that's cool as well.
Okay, sorry. Y'all are great. Love chatting with you. Sorry when I sometimes interrupt and talk over y'all. I get passionate about this game, but it is absolutely lovely and wonderful.
Don't get him started.
Charming gentleman. I have not said a word.
That's good. No, you did it this week, Dan. That was you, man.
Yeah.
No, but all really good.
But in all honesty, guys, I appreciate everybody hanging out with me tonight. This is a lot of fun. This is going to be the last stream, like I said, before Gen Con. So for any of you in chat or here who are going to be at Gen Con, I'm looking forward to hanging out with everybody at Gen Con. Jim and I were talking about it all last night, and we honestly are very excited and can't wait to honestly just hang out and just see everybody. It's going to be a ton of fun.
I've just got one more thing. The Lorcana HQ Discord is doing like a sort of semi-official meetup. And I think it's on the Thursday evening.
Also look at chat.
Yes. We'll go. Yes. So don't go anywhere, everybody. Okay. Jonty, finish what you were saying.
So I was just saying that. So the Lorcana HQ meetup is a Thursday evening, but I don't think they've announced like where or exactly when yet. But there is like a planning thing.
No, there was actually. It's in the Discord.
Has it been done now?
There is a specific meetup spot.
Right, there we go. So so I'll be there for a bit of that at least, I think, and I think a few other people here are going to try and sort of come in and out. So that'll be.
When
cool
is this? When is that?
Thursday night.
Thursday evening from like 6
p.m.
to
I think.
Yeah, something like that, 6 till 11 or something. So I'll be there for the first bit of it, and then I have an event. But yeah, that should be cool.
Okay, I don't think I have anything scheduled around that time. So the only scheduled thing I have at the moment on Thursday is going to be morning and then early afternoon. So yes, Rochelle, yes, we can stick around. We can stick around for a minute.
Yeah, for Rochelle, of course.
Are we getting a reveal?
Yes, Rochelle, we are here. But anyway, as we be here, we'll let that go for a minute. All right. So Gen Con, let's continue talking about Gen Con as well. I'm interested for you guys who are here. Is this going to be your first Gen Con, or have you been at Gen Con before? If you're going,
this will be my
first one. Wait, what?
It's my 7th Gen Con.
Dan's gonna be your 7th. Okay.
Jeez, yeah, it's my first.
Gen Cons.
First time going.
Cool.
Lorcana all day, baby.
My first.
Jonty, have you been to Gen Con before?
No, I do a lot of cons through the year. Gen Con is normally my boss's like big trip away, so I'm normally back running the store. But I couldn't miss this one, so so we've got the plebs running the place for a week.
All right, so guys, we have something to share. Okay.
Let's go.
Just give me 1 second. All right, as I find this.
Look at that nose.
Look at his glasses. Can we see
Look at
it?
the nose on Suki, by the way. Just out of nowhere, I was like, the reveal.
All right. So
I'm just thinking of poor Mushu report.
It's like
11:30 in the afternoon.
That guy's still
lunchtime.
sleeping.
It's fine. It's lunchtime there.
So guys, we've got something we're going to share with chat here.
I love it.
And it looks like guys, I think we might have a card here. We may have a card to show everybody.
Everybody get the thumbname face on.
If it's just like a number 4 from Uno and Dan is just playing us.
All right, so give me a quick countdown. Give me a quick countdown, and then and
drum roll
on screen.
105. 104.
Like 27, 26.
All right, give me a countdown from 5, 4,
3,
3,
Two.
2,
One.
1.
Here we go, guys.
Ooh,
All right.
Oh, it is
It is
Jafar.
Jafar.
that is
Keeper
Badass art
of
as well.
Each card in your hand?
Wow. So Jafar, Keeper of Secrets. Jafar, Keeper of Secrets is an inkable 4-cost 0/5/2 Dreamborn villain sorcerer in Amethyst. He's a rare card. He's got the ability Hidden Wonders. This character gets +1 strength for each card in your hand.
it's a whole new world.
It is a whole new world.
A variable
Put
challenger.
this in my spreadsheet.
This art is absolutely phenomenal.
That's so
I'm
cool.
that is
Marcel
that
Berg.
is
That's
I can't
fantastic.
touch it
gorgeous.
here. Is it Berg? Yeah, it looks like
yes. Yep.
Very
It is
cool.
Marcel Berg. What do you guys think about this card, man? This is really interesting.
I think we need a lot more card draw than we've got currently.
Yeah.
Okay, here's the thing. Play this turn 4, play a whole new world turn 5. He swings out for 7.
Oh, yeah.
Into a 3-cost.
The thing is, though,
It's maybe nothing.
stat-wise, all you would need is 3 cards in hand for this to already be overstated.
Just to be
That's-
regular,
yeah.
just as you'd expect it to
So,
be, yeah.
It's
Yeah.
pretty good.
Yeah.
It's good. It's
That's
not, it's
pretty
also
good.
like static too. So it's not even like it's when you're attacking. It's like nope, you just have this.
Oh,
On
yeah,
the
yeah.
back end as well.
Mhm.
That's great. Oh, man, that
Yeah, I don't think you even swing out with this. You just quest,
Yeah, you just-
and as long as you're doing what Amethyst wants to do, which is
Yeah, you-
keep cards in hand, this is the magic mirror payoff.
Oh,
Oh,
we're
yeah.
finally seeing a
This is
reason.
rewarding you for keeping
Man, that
cards
is
in
so
your
cool
hand.
looking.
This is the marshmallow payoff. This is you want to keep playing marshmallow
Yeah,
every
this
turn.
art
Yeah.
does extremely
'Cause he
cool.
stays big.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is really good
Yeah.
art.
Yeah, this one beats the other artwork by far.
yeah.
Yeah.
I love the artwork, but in all honesty, the place that I'm thinking is, I mean, with that 2 lore, to me, I
Yeah.
want to quest with the 2 and then just know that I've got all these cards in my hand. It's just gonna eat whatever my opponent throws at it potentially. But again, that versatility of I can swing into something that's higher statted, or just know that, like I said, we've got that 2 lore. I really like this card, and it's a villain too, so is spicy.
That's good.
Also, I'm pretty sure congratulations to Dan for getting first North American content creator revealing a card.
It's a team. It was a team effort. I mean, everybody's here, so we got to show this off together. So
We were actually sending our energy to Rochelle.
It
That's
took
what we
8
had.
content creators to get it.
He had to summon the 8.
yeah.
Yeah.
I came back
Look at
just
that.
in
Yeah,
time.
right?
We wouldn't have got it. The 7's not enough.
Not enough.
Look at Dan saying it's a group effort, like he's not the one getting the ad revenue.
So, but hang on, guys. In all honesty, though, I think my favorite part of this piece, look at that camel. Like that is just that's so cool.
Okay, I need to full screen this
Yeah.
because like it's so hard seeing.
It's hard.
everything.
Yeah, it's hard on
Okay.
our end.
Yeah. I'll show you guys. Here, I can show you. All right, but we'll take care. We'll take care of that. I don't even know if I can really even make this that much bigger.
Well, this definitely answers the question:
You could
which
tweet about
Bloodborne
it.
are we getting in Amethyst? It's not Jafar, so I think we're going to see 2 more Dr.
Ooh.
Faciliers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, guys, thank you for being here to show everybody that new card. So
That was awesome.
that was completely unexpected. So
That was great.
Rochelle, thank you. Team Lorcana, thank you
Huge
for
shout out to
for
Rochelle.
that reveal.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank
Yeah.
you very much.
This is cool.
Yeah.
Thank you, Rochelle.
So as soon as we get off this call, as long as I'm able to tweet this, I'll throw this out into Twitter to show everybody who's not here.
Oh, this has already been screen capped. Don't worry.
Oh,
Yeah, I put it on,
He's
and
already
two
sent
other
it to
people,
everyone, I'm
two other
sure.
people have as well on the Discord already.
Yeah,
You know
yeah.
what it's like. The second
Oh yeah,
it's
I know.
anywhere.
The second something happens, it's
I look
it's
forward to
gone.
seeing a decent res version of it though.
Yeah.
yeah. So, all right. Well, I guess now we can officially, I guess, wrap it up.
One
So
more.
Yeah. So yeah. But no,
there's 2 Dr. Facilias to get to.
But seriously, in all honesty, again, thank you, Rochelle. Thank you, Team Lorcana, for the opportunity to show off a new card for everybody. So
Super awesome.
I mean, I think that puts a cap on an already really great and phenomenal week for Lorcana. So guys, thank you for being here. This is a lot of fun. I wish I could do another stream next week, but looking forward to hanging out with everybody in a couple weeks at Gen Con. So without any further ado, I'm gonna get you guys to give me your freeze frame
and freeze frame 90s.
Your
I
freeze
love
frame 90s.
I love the fact that I've made this a thing.
Yeah, it's a thing now. So thanks everybody, and I'll see you guys later. All right, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. All right, guys. Well, how about it, man? That was pretty crazy and a lot of fun. So, guys, thank you everybody for hanging out again. Rochelle, Team Lorcana, thank you for the opportunity to show off that card for everybody tonight. And I'm sure as I speak, it's like already going over Twitter and going over the internet. So that's how the internet works, guys. It's fast and it's absolutely crazy. So again, guys, everyone, thank you for hanging out. Rashid, absolutely not a problem. LorcanaCast, James, chat, thank you for hanging out. Had a lot of fun interacting with you guys. Again, don't forget next week, no stream as I will be going out of town for vacation. So I'll be gone the end of next week. We are planning more content to be released next week. And then the week after that is Gen Con. And we're all excited to hang out with everybody at Gen Con. Can't wait. It's going to be a lot of fun. But yeah, with that, we've been going for a while tonight, but there's a lot to talk about. And yeah, so again, thank you to all of our participants, our guests, for hanging out with us tonight. A lot of fun. Even if I don't agree with you, that's okay. We have some really good discussions. And in all honesty, those are the best and most fun discussions when you don't agree, because it really makes you honestly think about your point. Like for me, especially, just really think about why you think a certain way, especially in a card game where there's a lot of thought that's involved. It's a lot of fun. So thank you, all of our guests and everybody, for hanging out with us tonight. And guys, with that, I will catch you next time. Again, no stream, but we'll catch you in the next content. So thanks everybody for hanging out, and we'll catch you in the next stream and or video. See everybody.